Okay, this is the Townsend Finance Committee meeting for January 20th, calling the meeting to order at 6:01 PM. A roll call, attendance please.
Carol Hofstas present.
Gerald Mazeika present.
Kathleen Spofford present.
Mary Jane Churchill present.
Sam Grant present.
David Walker present.
Don Hayes present. All members are present. We have a quorum. We are good to continue.
Isn't that nice that we all show up?
Isn't that nice? Yes.
Because for years there wasn't a
Uh,
full board
quorum.
here.
For years.
Right.
Yeah.
Even, yeah, so, the meeting is being recorded. It will be played back on the local cable channels as well as available on YouTube. At this point, is there anyone else recording the meeting?
Cindy here?
She may not be.
Cindy's not there.
None being heard, nobody else is recording the
She
meeting.
doesn't care about us.
And we have additions or deletions. At this point, we were meeting weekly. I had tried to add something and get it posted and it wasn't reposted, so we'll add that to next week's, the capital planning.
Capital planning.
Yeah, it was, I tried
Capital
to,
planning will be next week.
right, I modified it and sent it in, but it did not get posted, so we can't, and I don't want to do it as
All
an
right,
addition.
so this one,
Yeah.
meeting tonight.
So we'll
Cindy is.
put capital planning on next week.
Okay.
Okay, so capital will go, is that on here?
No, it's
Oh,
got,
next to it.
it's not on here because this I printed off the website.
Okay.
I had done an updated one that didn't get posted to either the website or the bulletin board out front, so we can't continue with that. Item 1 in the work area, I wanted to start with correspondence. We had received a couple of items from town administrator and the executive assistant. The audit committee appointment is an annual appointment normally done in the December timeframe. So I have been the audit committee appointment for the past few years. Then I wanted to take the opportunity that before we give the recommendation to them of who our representative is, if somebody else wants to join the audit committee. Yeah, I was gonna say, there's a lot of,
We're good. I'm good with you.
Do we need to make a
Unless one
Sam.
of
we
you.
should, yeah.
What?
Again,
We can look Barney if you want to see what an audit looks like.
there's not a lot, the general activity, other than the joint meeting when we get the auditor's report, is coming up with the requirements and posting the bids, which will be in the second year, coming up in FY27, so we'll be going out for bid on the audit contract again. But that would be it. So,
Do we have to vote to continue
yeah, I
or?
think,
Make a motion.
yeah, let's make a motion then.
Jeremy. I'll make a motion to make Don Hayes the annual income report person. Audit committee appointment.
Audit committee appointment. Okay.
Second.
And we have a second. Any further discussion? None being heard, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? None heard, it's unanimous vote.
That's the way to go.
Thank you.
Yeah. They're almost done.
Okay. Next is,
I want to get back into my warm house.
yeah. It's not cold in here.
Well, no, but it's way warmer in my
Yeah.
house.
So in addition, there is something that has been done, and I have been totally doing it and submitting it, which is the annual report from the Finance Committee. I don't know that if anybody reads it in the annual report, but for years we've had a Finance Committee report in there, so.
Okay, so I have a question on that.
Does it have to be voted by the board?
It hadn't in the past, and that's why I wanted to bring it up, as in the past, I've just generated it from all of our meetings and submitted.
Yeah, so it's just facts,
It's just facts Yeah, it's pretty much just that, but if somebody wants to, review it rather than just me taking it.
No,
That's great that it just,
Yeah, that's,
you're gonna
we're
be-
good.
All of your names are on it in the bottom, so it's gonna, just so you know.
We trust you.
It's on it. But it is there, and you can go back and visit them. I got my guidance, I read old versions of the annual reports, and I went back and tried to generate what I do from there.
So the reason I asked is because I did the one for the
Historic.
historic, and man, oh man, you would have thought that Mount Vesuvius erupted.
Mhm.
Oh, they wanted to do this, they wanted to do that, they wanted to review it, they wanted to like keep it on hold for 2 years. It was awful.
what was this?
Last year,
Last year, I
they
remember
made
that.
like
Yeah, I do remember that.
big,
Mm,
big
Yeah.
deal.
Right,
But
but
you're just,
if somebody, I just try to summarize
yeah,
it,
I think
whether.
I'm just gonna.
And
what
last
I
year was a tough year, so it's kind of like,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, so maybe somebody can review it and just, but, and that's the hard thing, it's kind of
I'm gonna follow
like,
your lead.
it says, it will say FY '25, which is.
Oh, right, yeah.
Years
Is
ago,
the
not-
fiscal year, not the calendar
Right,
year, but the
calendar
annual
year,
report
yeah.
is the calendar year.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
always been a little bit of a hard thing.
Right, it's kind of like, so that's why I'm in, my feet are across 2 fiscal years where I'm trying to do it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's hard.
Don't know, 25, 26, 27?
no,
Right,
not
yep, because we're working on 27 now already, so it's kind of, so, then I don't think we need a vote on that, we'll just continue on and let the chair submit the report to
Okay.
the annual reports. And I'm going to apologize, it says review minutes, and I know Carol did them, but I didn't send them out for review. So
You want to do that next meeting?
I will do that next meeting. And I'm trying to think if I got any.
Can't Carol send them off to us when she sends them to you?
Well, I sent them to him for him to review to make sure I didn't screw up something.
So and I will say generally, I think I've only fed back in the last 10, I've only fed back on the December 23rd.
I mean, I can send them out to everybody if you want.
I mean, if we have to read them.
Right, yeah, and then we can come into the meeting and make changes in the
Yeah.
meeting.
Do you
Okay,
want me to do that?
so let's do
Okay.
that.
Okay. All right, I'll do that. Do you want me to send out the 23rd and 13th?
You can, I mean,
Yeah, then we can just vote on it, but, rather than
Okay,
send out.
right, rather than do the two-step.
okay.
Oh, can't we take it apart first?
Do you want to take it apart? Sure.
No, I don't.
Mm.
Yeah, you can
What-
take it
I
apart.
know, I don't want to, I just wonder.
We will do it, and then when they're approved, they'll get
Whatever thee writes, thee gets.
posted on the Townsend website. Review the trash program and tonnage reports. We don't have anything additional from the last ones yet. I think they've been working on the budget more for this year and preparing. So I'll go back to
So not available.
not available, we'll continue. We want to continue monitoring that and seeing what the reports are, get up to date, so.
I tried
think it's a regular-
to go online and look for the latest trash contract, and all I found was an FY '25 trash proposal, but not an actual contract.
Is there a contract?
Well, I don't know if
That's
there's a
what it was.
contract, because I went on the, looking for it, just because I wanted to see what it said, because we talked about, if, say, the enterprise fund
It is.
was deficient, and say they went to got rid of it and said everybody's gonna go private, well, I was trying to find the contract to actually see what
How
it
long?
said about like how long-
Cancellation clause.
the
Yeah.
cancellation
Yeah.
with Shaw's, if there was actually, because I don't trust any contract that this town writes. So I just wanted to see
No,
what
that's-
was in there, if we needed it out.
Well, maybe Carla didn't get it up because I went on to look up for the recycling calendar for 2026.
Yeah. not-
And it's not there.
Okay.
So maybe she didn't, so I'm gonna
Okay,
call
okay.
tomorrow to give her a little nudge on the
Yeah,
calendar.
especially the
Do
calendar.
Yeah.
you want me to ask her about the contract?
Sure, I mean, I was just kind of like looking what the out was, if there was an out,
Right.
or whatever.
Right. And I know, yeah, I believe the Board of Selectmen was looking for a
So, I mean, I was
think
just,
as far as.
Oh, for the contract, oh, so they probably
Because,
never signed it yet.
oh, maybe,
because
well,
they
yes, well, that wouldn't be, that wouldn't surprise me.
yeah, I don't-
Okay,
I-
so. So,
We'll confirm it tomorrow with Carla.
okay. I mean, not a big deal, but I was just kind of like,
Well, a
I just
contract
kind
is a
of,
big deal, well.
I
well,
think it's a
yeah,
very big deal, saying
Well,
we have an
yeah.
enterprise, where we
Well,
took money out of our,
well, yeah,
Reserve
because
behind it.
we're never
We're
gonna
gonna
see
take this
these
one.
fire trucks, so.
I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah, where are the fire trucks?
where are the fire trucks?
But anyways,
We're off
we're
topic, we're off
Yeah,
topic.
well, let's go back to topic, so.
Put that on the next meeting.
okay.
Fire
Capital
trucks.
planning.
Capital planning. Is that capital planning? Oh. Oh, it's on already, capital planning.
Yeah,
Yep, but we can have specific subjects added under capital planning. And that's just a prior year capital planning, where are we and some of that.
okay.
Yep,
All right. Yeah, Carol, I'll find out.
Just,
Out of curiosity.
that was just my curiosity.
yep, no, that's your area.
But that's our job. Isn't that our job as the
We're the
finance
watchdogs,
committee?
Yeah.
The watchdog, to make sure
We're supposed to,
things are in order financially, fiscally?
That might be going a little after, but that's, it's kind of like, we think it's under
I mean,
our.
it just
well, we are
kinda-
supposed to be watching
and
the
ask questions.
finances for the town. I mean,
Yeah.
that is our job, actually.
And make recommendations.
And make
For
recommendations. as well.
example, maybe we would make a recommendation that the contract should be signed and online.
Right, and again, is it a Board of Selectmen contract, or is it a contract with Board of Health, and it's filed under there, not
Who's reading the
necessarily the
contract? I
same?
wonder who's reading the contract.
So,
Who
now you go
reviews
too
them?
deep.
Yeah,
Well, town
okay,
council
that's,
should be. But,
Do they? Well, if they do, I'm still suspect. So I will go there.
All right.
Right.
I wanna know what the
Okay.
calendar is, too.
All right, so we're good.
Okay.
and I know I had a lot of things on here, and we're skipping them, but I want to touch the special town meeting and warrant articles.
do we have any?
We have-
We don't have anything yet.
Do they have any?
No, the warrant's open, and it's gonna close, I know we.
It opened
spoke on
yesterday,
that.
right, or today?
And today, wasn't it today?
A week
And
ago?
it's-
No. it
No,
wasn't.
I agree.
Okay, yeah,
I have
When does it close?
I have it in my notes.
yeah, it's kind of like, let me go to the home, it's kind of like, because they do have, I haven't shared, but I'll get in there. Special town meeting, open on the 21st.
Open on the 21st,
So
so
tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Right.
And
It's
it
kinda like-
closes on the 2nd.
Yep,
February
So-
2nd.
February
Yeah.
2nd, 4 PM.
So if you have an article that you want put on the special town warrant, you have to give it to them now,
Submit it
Yes.
now, starting tomorrow,
submit,
9 AM, yeah.
okay, I gotta
Yep.
submit the HBC.
Do we know how many articles are on there so far?
How can you know?
We don't yet, I think, last week when Karen was here, he mentioned, I think, two articles,
Two financial
two
articles.
financial articles, and maybe 3 or 4 others.
And that's before the warrant opens, so.
And that's before the warrant opens, so things could be, people.
Is there anything coming up from the planning board? No, right?
I think there was bylaws things, but I think they're being deferred. The states come down and we have to change some of our bylaws, but I don't think they'll get changed in time for this.
Oh, okay.
Because they have to go, they're in review now,
Okay.
but the state mandates this stuff, so it's a no-brainer. And,
Yeah, okay. So it shouldn't be.
But
too
I'm not
bad.
sure,
Well, we can still tell the state where to stick it,
You're right.
stick your
can.
mandate.
sure,
Just,
sure.
I was gonna say, just like the 11 other towns that didn't,
Oh my goodness, did you
File
read that?
MBTA?
Yeah. Hey,
Oh.
Eric Slagle was one of the town administrators for Wilmington. They're one that didn't sign up. We're talking about the MBTA,
the
MBTA.
MBTA.
Yeah, well, I mean,
the
that's,
rural train that you don't have, that we don't have, that we can't get to.
Yeah,
From here.
yeah,
But they have a station, so they.
Oh, Wilmington has a station?
Yeah,
yeah, Wilmington has a station.
so
Well, how
they,
did they
so they were
get
direct.
around that?
No, it's like the other towns that do have stations that didn't sign, they maybe don't have land that they can do zoning for high density.
I mean, they're already pretty high density.
I would think. It's kinda
Anyways.
I have no idea where it is. Where is it?
Wilmington?
Yeah.
It's down by
I just know
Burlington.
Delaware. I'm like,
Down-
Yeah, that's what I know. I know the other one.
No, it's down near Burlington.
It's on 38.
Between
Yeah.
93 and
That's
38.
totally
so
helpful.
a little-
That's good.
Okay.
I can find it in my head.
Yep.
62,
Route 129.
129,
Go
yeah.
to- Go to Chelmsford. take
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
I'm talking like Jersey, exit 4.
Another sign says it's that way.
One opens Wednesday and closes February 2nd.
Yep. And so we're still waiting for those to see, so again, it's an item on the outer, if we, as soon as we get them, I'd like to address them because we do our recommendation sheet from
Right.
that, so.
When we do the recommendation sheet, is it just gonna be recommend, not recommend, or are we gonna put the reason why
Oh, no.
we, I mean, if we recommend, it's
We-
fine,
Right.
but if we're not
Not recommend-
recommending it, shouldn't we put a
I
reason
think we
why?
should. But even if
Yeah.
we recommend, we should put why. I think.
Why?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and we have that.
We,
It's kinda
okay.
like- So
we have in the
but
past.
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
it's kind of like, we'll get your copies of the recommendation sheet. I think I was printing them and handing them to you just so that they get handed out at town meeting.
Yeah,
In the past, or, I think even the last time, I think it was, they get printed upstairs and.
Yeah, the day, 2 minutes before the meeting.
Yeah, it's kind of like, so, but generally we do, we have the, a listing of the warrant article, the motion if we can get it in advance, and then a little discussion and background about it, and our recommendation and what the vote was. Because that's something that we added in recent years, because we're supposed to be a board
I recommend.
that recommends, but like the town, we have different ideas about, and I thought it was important that people saw the vote, whether it was unanimous or not.
Yeah.
Kinda like-
Well, at the
and
town
see what
meeting,
it
there
is.
were people who stood up and said they wanted to hear from the finance committee on,
a lot of times they do.
yeah, they know, they got up and
Yep.
said they wanted to hear from us. So hearing from us, if they had that
Mhm.
in advance, not
Right,
2 minutes
not just
before
2
the
minutes before,
the
so
meeting,
it's something.
that would be helpful
Yep.
to them. Just like the state puts it out a couple of weeks before, doesn't it? Does it, Kathy?
The book, yeah.
That
the
little
book
red
of-
and, that little
Like the
red
for
book?
and against, it is kind of like.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
For the ballot, for the
Yeah.
ballot questions?
That's just a great summary. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great tool.
But, yeah, I believe there was something recent on that, let me see. I think there was something that was coming out from the state that said each town should do it for their annual
Yeah,
Um,
they should.
annual election with
Yeah,
questions.
there was something about that,
Yeah.
but I don't know, wasn't there supposed to be a vote on that or something?
I think so, so I need to go back and,
Yeah, I kind of
Yeah.
lost track of
Right,
it. Yeah,
until
there
they-
was something on
yeah,
that.
until they come through and say this is passed, it's much like the municipality of Mao, they actively waiting for that to pass for 3 years. Kind of like, it keeps on getting on the list and debated, but never
Yeah,
voted on.
Voted on, yeah.
So, sorry, it's kind of late. Then, I had put review BBA for inquiry questions for department heads. I believe I forwarded out and at this point, we have the review BBA, the review reports, or the start the budget spreadsheet review. Do we want to change the order of these? And
Did you
take them?
send out a latest BBA?
I thought I had.
We got one from Kiernan, he sent one to you, that came to all of us. But he said it wasn't, he said it was, oh, what did he, wasn't fully baked.
Okay, that would be the omnibus. right?
Okay. Wasn't
That's
fully
probably
baked.
the omnibus that just came in about a half.
Oh, is that the
hour ago.
omnibus, or the BVA?
Yeah, something like that.
We're not ready for the omnibus, are we?
No? Besides, I think I only got the town seal.
Town seal?
I clicked on
Oh,
no,
oh, maybe there was
and
one I
then on
couldn't
down it
open.
was something
Oh,
going,
the link?
well, I had no time to read.
Maybe it was the link I couldn't open,
Yeah,
because the
okay.
last one I have is from November.
Oh, you have a
BVA.
BVA from November?
No,
Yeah.
it's not a BBA, I don't know what it was.
Yeah, we got a
I got
copy
something,
when they
529.
sent all the department head.
But there was
Oh,
something that I clicked on and
The link-
nothing happened or
The
something.
link looks like it goes to a spreadsheet,
It does, yeah.
so that must be the new omnibus
That's the new
for this,
omnibus. For this year.
FY '27.
Yeah.
They
So,
don't have it yet, do they?
Kiernan took all of the individual budgets and put them into the omnibus form.
Oh.
No.
That's what he was saying about his,
Are we gonna get them?
Okay. I guess that's something, I knew there was something I couldn't open.
we still have all of the budgets that were submitted in the spreadsheets.
So Kiernan's completing the BVA? Oh, no, the omnibus.
Yeah,
The omnibus.
the omnibus. The BBA is a report from Vader for,
We didn't get that yet.
I apologize, I thought I had sent it out to everybody.
What do we have it up to?
I requested it for the end of December so that we would get 6 months into FY '26 and see how it's progressing in meeting for the FY '27.
And where do you get that one from, Don?
That comes from the town accountant office.
Oh. So to December, yeah, let's get that from her.
You got December in there to get a full.
Yeah.
Well, to get the half year
Right.
and figure, it's a lot easier to figure out a half year.
Yeah.
in-
Are they gonna
in
print it out
years.
first? Are we gonna get it in a hard copy?
Yes, but the plan is to get hard copy and get them,
Okay.
It's for the next meeting.
yep.
Okay, next. Review the revenue reports.
Yes, again, I thought I hit send on that.
So we don't have those either?
Well, I don't have them printed, but I had, Valerie gave us a copy of the 10-year.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then she requested a 5-year one from Elizabeth, and
Right.
I forwarded those.
Oh, I don't think I have that one. Didn't Valerie give us one last week?
What was,
Yeah, I forwarded that one from,
was that the revenues,
Yes.
the general revenues?
yeah, and then, because the conversation had been about throw out anything before the COVID years.
Oh, right, yeah.
All right, I think I responded with a few questions on, because if I remember right, she also attached this year to date on one of them.
Yeah.
The revenue receipts?
Yeah, and I thought I sent back to her some questions on that.
To Dawn or to Val?
Or to Elizabeth.
I sent them to Valerie.
Okay, okay.
But she didn't
But I
respond.
thought I copied, I copied everybody that was on my email, which I think was just you. I think everybody else, I think we might have been blind copied on that.
Oh,
So when I hit
Yeah.
reply all, I don't think it goes to everybody.
Right,
No,
right,
it's kind of
which
like,
it shouldn't,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, so when I send the minutes, do I send that like blind copy?
that's
everybody?
informational.
I'll get you the.
Yeah,
full
no,
list.
she can blind copy, because then if you reply, you're not replying to everybody.
Right. Because that gets you.
So if you
quickly
were to
into trouble.
reply to Carol and say, hey, Carol, I noticed this,
I made a typo or
or
something.
whatever,
Whatever.
it will only go to her. So that you're not breaking the open meeting law.
Okay.
But I thought you could get informational stuff without, we just couldn't have discussion.
Right, which is why she can send that out, but we
Right.
can't discuss
You
it.
you can't discuss it.
In any way.
If you have a full distribution list and you reply all and say, hey Carol, what about this? Everybody's in on it and it can be considered an open discussion and a violation. So that's why it's,
So I need to send it out as a blind copy.
right,
I
yeah,
just
I'll
don't-
get you the full list.
It's gonna become that complicated.
Well, if I,
forget it.
if I could figure it out, I'll
Yeah.
do the, I think there's a thing that says BCC on the
Mhm.
email, so I think I can figure it out.
Okay. So we'll get that from Valerie, from you next week?
I will forward the one from Elizabeth for the local
Oh.
receipts 2020 to 2025 right now. Like I said, I thought I had done it 2025.
So you said Val sent 10 years?
Yes, Valerie sent the 10 years.
I think I only printed 5 years.
Why is anything before COVID not good?
Because the economy just was all,
Yeah, it's kind of like we did this big tank in 20 and 21, and then you came back. And there was a lot of revenue that dropped off because of those years. So you can't really, you're not going to get a nice linear line. You're going to have,
Yeah, but, okay.
but it's,
But it's factual.
it's factual, but it's also
But it's not a
not
line.
normal.
Right.
So it's not like,
Okay. Yeah, I get it.
you know what I mean?
Doesn't
It's
look
not-
good, so we should.
Yeah.
No, it's not even that. It's just that it's kind of faked.
Yeah, but,
Hello, Harrison.
hi, Harrison.
Yeah, it's just that it's not,
It's so out of the norm.
Yeah, but if it was in a 10-year plan, I mean, you just don't know what's gonna happen.
Well,
It becomes
right.
true.
Are you kidding? In this day and age?
Yeah,
we had false money.
You're lucky.
No, but that's the thing, that's why you.
Not play
The
money.
ARPA.
Yeah, well, that was it. There was a lot of.
Oh,
Something
Yeah,
like
there's
that.
a-
income of our,
Yeah.
Right,
So
yeah.
that kind of skews all the numbers.
Just use all the numbers if you, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's the worst thing that ever happened,
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
to get that money.
yeah.
But,
It's like too big to fail thing.
yeah, so
So,
then you depend on it.
wow. Okay, that's good. Start the budget spreadsheet reviews.
Which,
Okay, here we go.
okay, now, I didn't print them out, I don't know if everybody,
I'm sure Carol
Copies
Ross
of them?
said.
I can,
do.
I can share.
I do have them.
I do have printouts from the clerk's office if anyone
Oh.
would like them.
Okay, thank you, Harrison, we need them. Do you have everybody's or just yours?
I have all the ones
Just-
that
just
were
for
being
town clerk.
Course, Carol.
looked at.
There you go.
Carol's
sorry.
a good girl, thank you.
Thank you.
Here we go.
With
Thank
the-
you.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Secretary?
with the introduction letter,
Did you have one?
Yes.
one of the few.
I didn't.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, so you don't trip.
Because they said it wouldn't
Thank you.
print out good, so I didn't bother printing it. But Carol's looks good.
She's a professional printer. She,
So I,
someone come in and print for her.
that's why I wanted,
She's like right on top of it.
I'm just gonna try to print it.
Mr. Chair, would you like me to start, or were you gonna start in general?
well, I'll just make sure we're moving on to item 7. We'll start with the town clerk. As I listed, all responsible accounts, there's many more than just the town clerk office budget review. And I'll leave it to Harrison for introduction and,
Good evening, everyone. Pardon the intrusion into your side of the table. I'm happy to be here tonight to speak with you all regarding the clerk's office and the other functions that fall under the office, all of the budgets for FY27. I sent all of these materials out via email. There was also an amendment made to the number of police details, so that is reflected in the printout version that you have today. So I'm going to not repeat everything that was said already in the interest of time, and let anyone who has any comments, questions, take it from there, or if you want, I can kind of give a guided tour throughout the different functions.
So I have a question.
Sure.
So on your letter, this identifies the functions of the town clerk, not to be confused with the records officer or the dog licensing people, or is that
Well,
all
those are
under the
functions of
umbrella?
the town
That's all under the umbrella of town clerk?
Correct, those are
Okay.
statutorily assigned functions.
Okay, okay.
So I didn't repeat all of them per se, but these are all, like I mentioned licensing and permitting
Yeah, I see
generally.
that, yeah.
Because we also issue, business certificates, raffle permits, all sorts of things.
Okay.
let's see, I forgot about raffle permits.
Yeah,
We only issue a handful every year, so the dog licensing is the big one, but we have to maintain processes and keep up on training for the few of these smaller permits and licenses that are issued as well. And the thing that kind of tells a little bit of the story, particularly in the 162 election and registrations function, is this fiscal year, when we're comparing numbers, we have one local election in the budget. Next year, we have, in addition to that one local election, a state primary in September and a general election in November of FY27, which is in this calendar year. And the main thing to keep in mind with those is not only are we funding the election day operations itself and the pre-work that goes into any election day, whether it's local or a state election, but we also are required to have 1 week of in-person early voting for the state primary and 2 weeks for the state election. And that also, those weeks of early voting is where the major change in the dollar amount for the police details came from. Originally budgeted was $18,000 for police details, and we have reduced that to just about $6,000. So there will not be a police detail at the early voting. There was not a constable detail at the early voting either. So, keeping with the town's practice, we're going to not have law enforcement presence at early voting in person and simply call emergency services if it's necessary.
What is early voting?
Early voting refers to a number of different things, and it can be simply the process of coming in and voting early up in the Great Hall, or down here, depending on, if it's a busy election, it might be in the Great Hall, but that's in the days before the election. You could also have early voting by mail, or refer to vote by mail.
All that, but
You also have absentee voting, which is, it can be by mail or it can be over the counter, and all of those things are kind of generally referred to as early voting, but they are a number of distinct processes.
yeah, I just was thinking, one that I don't understand is in-person early voting.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like absentee voting. The state does for the actual in-person early voting and vote by mail, not absentee by mail or absentee in person. They'll reimburse part of the cost, not all of it, but we do get some of it back, and it shows up in our free cash at the end.
How can you be an absentee and reimbursed?
It depends, so like if I know in 2 weeks, which is the day of the election, I'm going to be flying to wherever for vacation, I know I'm not gonna be able to make it to the polls on election day, so I can go into the clerk's office and vote early, via the absentee process.
Okay.
And there's a qualifier in order to do that. It must be that you believe, you have good faith reason to believe that you're not going to be able to make it to the polls on election day. And you can do that for any election. It can be for a local election, which there is not in-person early voting for. The select board also can opt out of vote by mail for the local elections. And that's something where you would probably see an increase in the in-person absentee folks who know that they're not going to be in town in April, perhaps.
Okay, thank you.
So I have a question. If the Board of Selectmen opted out of vote by mail, would that decrease the budget for the election?
No,
Okay.
and the reason I say no is because in theory, let's say, we had thousands of people sign up for vote by mail. Then you could see a reduction in cost. But the thing that you don't see is thousands of people signing up for vote by mail for local elections. You might save tens of dollars, perhaps hundreds, given that we're going into a state election year. There may be more people signing up for vote by mail. But on the applications for vote by mail, people check the box, state election or state primary, and don't check all. So that they wouldn't be included in that local election cost anyway. So it may have marginal savings, but the ballot access, and access to the democratic process, is it worth the extra, perhaps tens of dollars? And especially when, the state does reimburse us for those costs. It's not immediate and it has to be budgeted for, but we do see that come back, whereas opposed to the absentee voting process where we don't get reimbursed at all. So keeping vote by mail does retain at least the ability for us to submit for reimbursement the parts that are eligible.
And I just have a question, and it's a nitnoy question.
Sure.
On the burial agent labor worksheet,
Yes.
the only thing I had a question, because in the comment section, you said the stipend does not reflect the hours. So, but there's nothing in the stipend line, so I wasn't sure what that meant.
The whole $151 is the stipend itself.
So should that be moved down to the stipend and out of base wages?
Yes, it could be. It is the same way on the parking clerk one. I had looked at prior year submissions, given that that whole line item is just only a stipend.
I know, it's just an annoying question, but it was just like, but I was just looking at your comments and not.
Yeah.
in
Yeah, fair enough, and that's a correction that can be made. Being the only line items there,
Yeah.
it's one of those things that definitely, it can be adjusted to make a little bit more sense.
Okay, yeah, because it wasn't making, the comment didn't
Yeah.
make sense to me, so I wasn't sure if
Yeah.
that should have been moved down to the stipend line.
Out of all the budgets, you're.
Yeah, really. $70 and $150.
I said it was a nitnoy question.
It was, boy.
No, but is that a quarterly stipend or a monthly stipend?
So it does get broken down monthly, but it's 151 divided by 12, not per month.
No, yeah, I get that, but
And so,
Can we round that up and make it be even?
I don't know, that might be unaffordable.
I mean, you do work for this, right?
Yeah, burial agent
Yeah.
and parking clerk, burial agent in particular of the stipends, there's a lot of work that goes into maintaining the death records of the town. But the other thing I'll bring up, and while, my comment is that the stipend itself doesn't reflect the work that goes into that particular burial agent position or parking clerk position. These are stipends that are, given to someone who does work for the town full-time and does receive full-time compensation. So
I see.
it is not, because you have some stipends like the animal inspector, that is probably that only position that they have with the town, as opposed to, you know, if it were the animal control officer, who was also the animal inspector, they receive other compensation that might make up part of the difference. So I wanted to bring that to the attention of the Finance Committee and Select Board in reviewing this, but the reason it's proposed at level funded is because this isn't, you know, the whole part of the picture.
It's not the whole
It should be looked at in aggregate.
I see, okay.
No, I understood, but if I do my simple math, that's like $12.58 for the 3/10 per penny. No, but that.
Per month.
Per month. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
So
and so that being the case.
That
you
reflects a
can't do-
half hour, or slightly less than a half
Right,
hour.
but, and I understand that, but
Mhm.
it doesn't go into a payroll system that way. You can't pay tenths of a cent to somebody.
Oh,
Per
yeah,
month.
it doesn't get, it gets, 1 month would be slightly lopsided by a penny. So,
Okay.
or however that would end up.
Right, but, and that's where in the budgeting, I want to make sure, because last year we had several.
Yeah, there were the
days-
few pennies.
There's a
so
few pennies that we had to move. So
Yeah,
that's-
that'll
that's
be
the concern.
adjusted.
So, that's all. It's kind of like, I just want to make sure we're not.
Yeah, there won't be a repeat of that with this fiscal year.
Yeah.
So if I came and got a job as a burial agent, I would be making more than $151, correct?
If that were your sole
Yeah,
job for the
yeah.
town,
Right.
it's likely that you would be getting paid more than that.
Yeah.
I can't speak to whether the town will adhere to minimum wage laws.
Okay. It's just interesting
No,
how
$2.98.
it gets split out into all these different
The reason
little-
why
yeah.
is because it actually falls into the Board of Health.
Yeah, the
Burial
Board of Health appoints.
Agent, and so they appoint the burial agent because the town clerk's office is the office that gets the burial permits and has to record those in order to switch everything over to a death certificate and everything. So that's why
Oh,
it's like that.
But-
Because
And
it
there's
actually-
some, I don't know if you're about to say, there's some municipalities where the clerk is not the burial agent.
Oh.
And
Oh.
it seems to be an interesting mix, because it's not just all large cities or towns that have
Right.
it split.
It's-
Some do have it split in their small towns, so
But it
it's
just,
interesting.
it makes sense because the way the program is run on, the gateway is run, where we get all the birth certificates and death certificates and everything. It makes a lot of sense to have the town clerk, so that you don't have, where somebody comes in for a death certificate, you're not waiting for the Board of Health.
oh, I see, to issue
register the-
something. Right, yeah.
The burial permit before we can issue the death certificate, the town clerk can do it all.
I see.
And the
It
other
just-
benefit is we have the climate controlled and archival materials to, make sure that those burial permits are stored in an appropriate archival manner. And not that the Board of Health wouldn't, if this was their responsibility, they would,
Right, but it
obtain the
just-
necessary equipment, but, there are only 3 vaults in this building. 3? So there's only a few vaults around. Not every office has a vault in it to securely
Oh,
store
we have
records. And we have a portable one, you're right.
That we don't know the combination.
But, that is one of the other benefits,
That's very
climate control
interesting.
environment to store that in.
Parking clerk, how many,
$70.
no, I understand that, but like,
There's only a
What
handful of
parking
tickets a year.
That's,
Really?
It's more handicap parking or the snow,
Yeah,
when they park on the side of the road overnight.
and
Or
again,
in
it's
fire
appointed
lane.
by
I've seen it.
police chief.
Police chief, yeah.
So it's an office that's open all business hours, and you're not trying to find Board of Health, you're not trying to find the police to take it. It's a bit of a convenience for,
Jesus, a lot of them. So you've got the town clerk job, you've got the registrar job, you've got street listing job, you've got the elections,
What's the street listing?
burial.
well, so street listings is just an expense account, there's no salary or anything, associated with that. Maintaining the voter list falls really under the 162 category. And you'll actually notice, I'll bring this to your attention, Our FY '26 request was $5,200. Our FY '27 request was $200 less. And I'll thank many of you for participating in the reason why we're experiencing a small but present savings. Is because we have moved the street list mailing in-house. And so we're going to, instead of having paid a vendor to do all of the work associated with that, we were able to save a small amount and also keep those funds local as opposed to paying a vendor, somewhere else.
That's
So-
interesting. Thank you for that. I think,
Yeah.
yeah.
It-
So it shows it can be done. We don't have to outsource everything to get the job done.
That's right.
But
Yeah.
it does need labor.
No, I understand, but if you can put it together.
But the way Harrison did it too, he included a lot of information in that mailing, which
Right,
wouldn't
yeah.
have been included when we outsourced.
Yeah, if a vendor had to print the additional sheets that went in
It would have been
there,
double.
Number one,
maybe even more.
and number two, counting on the mail-in vote.
Right, right. So, yeah, I mean, we were able to, increase the quality of service while, bringing a savings to the town. So I think that's
I think that's a very good model for other departments.
I think some people were interested in it. when
If
we
you
were-
can, as long as you get the volunteers.
Right.
Sometimes it's hard to get the volunteers.
And it also depends on the type of mailing, because when you have a lot of the pre-sort automated mailings, like, your tax bills, it's, you print a sheet, the perforation is something that specialized equipment has to do. It may be cheaper and faster to send it to a mailer. And the other thing is, I believe in particular for tax bills, the vendor who does the mailing for that also does a number of other services for the town, so it's part of a package. So it may not be a piecemeal thing. I'm not 100% sure about the specifics of it, but there may be pros and cons when there are different mailings. And, if there were more, if there were a serious effort to bring it in-house, you can get attachments onto the town Xerox machines that do the perforations or the slicing and the folding that, could make it feasible to do here in-house. They would just have to have enough usage to justify the additional $100 a month that addition onto the machine would cost. It's possible, if we don't have to pay a vendor $20,000 a year, I'm not
Yeah.
sure if that's the cost. And all the difference between us being capable or not is, $100 a month add-on to the machine. There could be a savings there, but you'll have the staff additional costs as well. So it's something to look at. We looked at 164, 163, continuing
We'll
backwards.
go backwards, yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing particularly eventful here as far as changes go. It is the same as was for last year. And actually, I apologize, the cover sheet says FY '25 in one column and FY '26 for the request. It is FY '26 and then '27. But everything is the same except for the last salary in the list, is where it is my name instead of Kathy's.
Oh, here are all the people.
Yeah, those are the registrars.
Yep.
Oh, they get paid this $2,100.
Right, yep.
That's 63. That's,
And again, he gets paid a whopping $244.92.
so the labor is really in the town clerk.
Well,
It
that's
does-
gross, right? So therefore he gets $1.298 for the sheet.
And I mean, and the same comment that I added to the other sections could be applied here as well. 244 does not even come close to representing what goes into the maintenance of the voter list and the work of, the street listing. And all of those auxiliary tasks, and then of course the elections administration itself. That $244 doesn't cover that, but the town clerk is already by state law the chief election officer. So that kind of falls in a little bit differently than these auxiliary ex officio appointments that the Board of Health and I believe it's the select board who appoints parking clerk make. Those are things that are not by default the town clerk. So I omitted the comment here, not thinking, you know, it could be applied in the same way, but, you know, the salary covers the cost of the staff doing this. Questions?
No, I'm just gonna go with the last one, last sheet is the same, 25, 26, maybe 26, 27.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay. Under the summary, last page.
We have 163.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. And,
All right.
and again, this is the backup information, the important information here is the front sheet that's gonna get transferred to the omnibus.
Right. Yep. So
So the
also,
84, the 143, 341 goes to the omnibus.
The
Is that what you're saying?
2442, on the total budget, because it's all,
4163,
The 20,
on one, we're on
4163,
163.
the registrar's.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so, this-
163,
so 2442 is what?
that's the number that goes to the omnibus line. So, because it's all salaries, and so there's one line of salaries
Okay.
for 2442 in the registrar report when we look at the omnibus.
any other questions on 163? All right.
So this is 26, 27.
20, yeah, that's 26 and 27, and then on the third sheet.
Third sheet on 163 that I have says 26 and 27.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's down at the very bottom.
Oh, on the bottom, it's, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
On the top of the, above the row, it says.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, it's typo for,
Yeah, that's no big deal.
right, it's kind of like, and again, this is the backup information, so it's.
Right.
I reused last year's sheet because many of the numbers were the exact same.
Right, so we're
I
not
missed a few
increasing,
spots.
yeah, we're not increasing budgets.
All right, so on, continuing backwards to 162, you'll notice this is a meaningful jump from $12,075 to $38,350. Looking at the salaries portion of this, it represents a 300% increase in the overtime. That represents an increase from 1 to 3 elections, and so that is shown there to show that increase. The other change I'll mention as well, I think many of you are already aware of this, there's a new assistant town clerk. So Jessica Cudinoli's name is not listed there.
Which budget are we on?
162.
162.
John Corey,
Why is he on 162?
he's on 162
yes,
as the
Well,
labor
that's the overtime wages
Overtime
only.
for
overtime.
his work on the election.
Oh,
$9,000 overtime.
Okay, but that's,
That's 3 elections.
3 elections.
Oh,
In particular, the early voting will be a meaningful, we're going to work to stay within the $9,000.
A meaningful burden.
Yeah, I mean, it represents work to that the taxpayers have to pay for.
Right.
It will require, you know, certain, it'll require additional hours beyond
Another one of those
just
state
JAP.
mandates that we should tell them to go to hell on.
so,
They do reimburse for part of this, but again, it's
How
not
much?
something,
What percentage is it? Do you know, is it low, high, medium?
medium to low. And it's, only parts of the cost are certified by the State Division of Local Mandates. So the state auditor's office has to come in, look at our receipts, and ask a bunch of questions, and then eventually they certify a number based off of all of the data that we give them. It is high in the actual raw expenses. Like our postage for all of mailing out the ballots is reimbursed. That's 100% based off of what the computer shows that we sent out. But the wages was, whoever was earning wages only doing vote-by-mail activities or early voting activities, or were they also
So-
at the counter, licensing a dog? And so if if the state's not sure of was that dedicated early voting time, they may not reimburse it.
Okay, so if we got rid of early voting altogether, I know you said,
I mean,
Oh, you can't?
Well, for the local election, do you mean?
yeah,
A lot of this overtime would stay. We might lose $1,000 off, but the main cost there comes from election day itself and the additional, you have days where it's a 5 PM deadline, and the town accepted a local option, which instead of making it the Saturday or Sunday that the deadline date usually would fall on, the office would just stay open until 5 PM on the Friday before, whatever the deadline date calculates out to. And it's usually like something like 10 days before the election, and that would fall on a Saturday. So the office is paying out overtime hours for, whether it's a voter registration deadline, a nomination papers deadline, something of that sort.
so we wouldn't really save too much money.
Not a ton, and $1,000 might be actually really high, the more I'm thinking about it. It might be less savings. Part of it would be picked up by, now you're gonna have more absentee voting, and so it's,
Is there different criteria, though, to take out an absentee ballot versus an early voting ballot?
there is, but, I can walk in and say today, and I could truly mean it, I don't think I'm gonna be in town on election day, and then whatever event that I had planned, is now canceled. Suddenly I'm in town. Or maybe there was no event and I perjured myself when I filled out the form.
Okay, yeah.
So, if someone, really wants a vote-by-mail ballot, they can obtain one via absentee voting, and then the state doesn't reimburse for any part of it.
Oh, absentee
are you
voting
going
is
to do
not-
early voting in person for the annual?
Not for, no, and we aren't in the habit of doing that. If someone wants to come in and vote absentee, which they can do, or if they qualify for it, they can do that. But, it's up to the town whether we keep vote by mail for it. And, we may have statistics that we could look at, okay, is it gonna cost us $5,000 in postage to do this, or is it not? And we can take a look and see, based off the number of signups. But the other thing to keep in mind is, are these residents, voters who have signed up with intent to vote in that election, and now would that vote by the select board be disenfranchising voters who are expecting to receive a ballot in the mail for that election?
What about the salary line item? You only have Jack on there. What about the election workers?
So that's not contained in the salary line, that's moving forward to the expense account. That would fall under the professional services line item.
Why is that?
Based off of the last 2 years of budget, I looked at what line item it was coming out of. That's it. That's it.
Was it?
Last year it came out of that line item. I don't know if accounting reclassified it after the fact or what happened there, but, the budget presented, it would be sufficient for all of the necessary professional services, including election workers.
Okay.
But if the, okay, so that includes the printing of ballots and everything else associated with it?
Election worker.
Correct. And the other key thing is we don't print the state election ballots. They simply send that to us, they pay the cost of that. The only ballot printing is, related to the local election. But, we'll have, the reason why the line item, stays the way that it does is because we're paying the election workers out of that line item. So we might be saving the $1,500 off of paying for the printing. But we're going to have the additional cost of staffing early voting, and so that'll represent additional election worker staff time.
I know.
Is there a question?
Oh, yeah, there's a question,
No.
yes.
Okay.
Kathy has a question.
Sure.
I personally would like to see the wages, the election worker wages under wages, so that you can tell what it is.
Sure.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they get paid through payroll.
Yeah, but they're 1099 contractors.
Okay.
We're working on that. We don't know for sure. Or you're sure it's a 1099?
That's my understanding.
Yeah.
It might, and you just wouldn't get a 1099 unless you are
Over $600
over
or
the
something.
threshold, whatever it is, given the fiscal year.
Okay.
And so it's reported, this is,
Yeah.
it's reported as a 1099 to the IRS, but we don't get a form to
So
submit.
I'm not understanding how that can possibly be a 1099 job.
It's like a contract.
I mean,
A
Yeah, but you have
contract.
to come here, you have to follow the rules, you have to use the equipment from here, you know, all that
You-
10 point.
But that's what you.
Yeah,
that's-
Somebody else.
that's
Yeah,
a
it-
question for the payroll department.
too.
And the other thing is, I have seen towns do it both ways.
Yeah.
I can't speak to the conflicting advice that different town council firms are giving, because they're both advising different ways on the same issue, interpreting the
Yeah, I
same
just thought that
IRS
there
thing.
was a 10-point IRS test, if you were
But
1099 or
but
W-2.
that might have pertained to a public company as opposed to a municipal
Oh,
entity
that's
too.
possible, yeah.
Right, because I mean, I think, because the reason they changed those rules was because there were a lot of companies that were kind of gaming the system,
Oh,
right?
there's no question
No
about
benefits
that,
for,
yeah.
yeah.
I don't think, I mean,
Election workers work 3 days.
I mean, yeah, as a town, we probably want to try to game the system as well as we can, but it doesn't necessarily make as much sense for us to worry about that as a town. As a town, there's no real incentive for him to try to game the system.
Oh, yeah, right,
On
no,
that
I
perspective.
understand that, I just thought that W-2 versus 1099.
Well, Harrison, if you have it under professional services, do you have enough money in professional services? Because if you have 3 elections coming up, how much is it per election for wages?
It does, it varies based off of the number of early voting days per election. I can get that breakdown to you all and send that as a follow-up.
I just don't think you're gonna have enough money there.
Right.
Sure, I can break it down.
That's my concern.
Right, and as it goes, one of the things that was done under previous
Kathy?
town administrator, they set up a separate account for elections so that
Special article
a
account.
special article account that we would fund and put this in so that you're seeing just a standard annual election.
So does that account
In the
exist?
budget. It exists.
And it has money in it
It has
to
some
cover
money.
the extra, or some of the extra
Okay.
expense?
It does.
When we set it up, it was set up with $22,000. It's supposed to be on an annual review with the budgets, that we look at that and keep the budget somewhat stable so that we're not seeing these high, like the increases of 133%.
Yeah, what I'm hearing is, well, a couple of things to be aware of with the account. First is that the balance is now at about $8,000. The town is in the habit of having 1 or 2 or possibly more, I think it's only been 2 in a year, special elections. So that has used a lot of unbudgeted funds, really fast.
And we haven't looked at it to replenish it.
Right, and so that, I do intend on bringing a free cash article to the February special town meeting, and that's something, once the dollar amount is determined and final, I'll bring that forward, and happy to come back and speak with you then, at a future meeting where you're gonna review that article. But the key thing, to be aware of is, we have enough for one more special, or other unplanned election.
Yeah.
Or it could absorb part of the cost of
So,
the election.
but when you bring to bring an article to the next special town meeting, that still covers this fiscal year, not next fiscal year, is that correct?
It could, but the way the article, the special town meeting article works, it was set up at a special town meeting as well, is it just kind of is out there. until the money goes away or is rescinded, the appropriation is rescinded by town meeting.
Okay, so you're saying you'd present the article to replenish that fund as opposed to, okay.
So it wouldn't be restricted to this fiscal year.
Right, because
I don't anticipate spending any of it this fiscal year, barring,
More than
you know.
the increase.
Barring a similar catastrophe to last year.
Well, they
Perhaps, and the other thing is, part of the expenses from this summer's election, because that was actually this fiscal year, part of the expenses I did put into this year's budget, because some of the, you know, non-urgent things like, you know, E-code updates or things like that were held off, so some of our professional services funds were available. So the hope is that as little of this April's election is going to hit the special town meeting article. It's possible that some of it does because some of the special election hit the regular budget. So it's possible you could see 1,000 or 2 hit the special article come April, but not all of it.
Right. And again, there's an article on the ballot this spring that may call for an extra election.
Right, there's a change proposed from 3 to 5 select board members. The select board would have, you know, to weigh the pros and cons, you know, of operating with just a bare minimum, you know, or if they want to have that special election to increase the, you know, the size of the board then.
The article that was passed to vote on expanding the board, didn't that include a stipulation as to when an election would be held to fill those
I think it
new
did.
seats?
It was a
I think
request.
it did.
Yeah.
It was a request, you know, the town meeting can't demand that the select board, you know, hold that, or rather, the town meeting can demand that the select board hold that election sooner. The select board just doesn't have to listen. You know, but it's, in effect, that sentence,
I was gonna say,
that sentence is like a non-binding resolution. We, the town meeting, resolve to have this election sooner.
Oh, we
The
know
select
where
board.
that's gonna go.
well,
But can they just stall it and not have it?
well, I think
Well,
No,
it
it would have to be the-
at the latest, it would be the annual of 2027.
Oh, so that's how they could, 2027?
Well,
Yeah.
okay,
2027?
Yeah,
Because we,
Yeah,
They could push it out a whole year?
well, they
Yeah.
would, it would be by omission, so if they don't choose to call a special
call a
town
special
election.
that would have, fall on the
just
next regular town election.
and
Yeah.
Which might be okay, because it would be a way to save money from having another special
I
election.
know, but
Now,
my word.
But if
Government.
we're already in the habit of having a summer special election, so if we're going to be having one anyway for an override, we would then also have
Just
the
throw that
opportunity
in
to
there,
put
right.
the seats on, right?
Right.
So, you know, we can get a 2-for-1 special there.
yeah, get to
Or we can avoid having the summer election,
Well, you know, that's an option too.
save ourselves some money.
So that's really the main thing. The other, speaking of other, there's a line item that is called other. I have stopped using that item, knowing how, you know, you would rather an
Other
accurate
does not
line
work
item
for
be
the
used.
finance committee.
And so that has moved up physically to materials/operational supplies and expenses, because that is what the other line item was being used for operational supplies to execute the elections. And so,
General election.
again, you'll see a 3 times increase to represent the increase, you know, with 3 elections.
Okay. What's the travel line item for elections?
The travel it really relates to a number of possible things. On occasion, we may suddenly run out of a particular supply, and so, you know, we may need to go
Someone
to a
has to go
vendor.
drive to someplace to get them.
Right, and the other thing that it relates to as well is, you know, depending on the volume of mail that we're sending, so in particular with the state elections, we would have many mail bins full of mail. There may be driving to and from the post office repeatedly to bring those buckets of mail to them, because the little van can only fit so many mail buckets in it at a time.
We get the highway department, when they dump the truck.
Yeah, and that's a way to avoid mileage expense, but it's increased as a precaution. The hope is that, of course, we would not run out of supplies. It's usually also cheaper for them to ship it to us as opposed to paying out the mileage and the rush order fee for them to have it ready for pickup.
Okay.
So that, it's there, you know, as a possibility.
Sure. All right. I was just kind of curious.
Yep. The line item that we haven't addressed yet relates to the police details. And I included in the comments, the total cost for constables would be $1,050 if it were constables instead. So that represents a $5,150 savings if the select board would choose to post the vacancy in the way that the charter requires. But as I understand it, their policy right now isn't to do that.
Is there a 161?
Nope, there's no
No.
161. So if there's no other questions on 162,
Well, I'm just going over the elections.
Yeah.
Kind of like, in FY,
There's nothing we can
FY
do.
'27, we're gonna have, which is gonna take us from July of '26 to '27. Okay, I'm just getting the presidential in my mind, and that's gonna
Yeah.
fall for the FY '28,
yes, yep.
because it's a March.
And, yeah, and
Partial,
the
yeah.
presidential primary will be FY '28, and then the FY '29 will carry the two in the fall.
The two, yeah, yep, exactly. So that's, with the fluctuations
Yeah.
of there, I just wanted to make sure I had my elections in the right year.
Yep. All right, so looking at 160, I'll start on salaries. So first, well, actually, before I talk about salaries or the expense line items, what I'll say is that you'll notice you have two additional pages here. One comparing the FY '26 request to what's being requested this year, and you have one comparing the FY '26 enacted budget that was cut by the select board. So I just want to make clear, and the reason why that was included for this as opposed to the other categories is because 160 is the area where the select board made cuts. And so I'll start with the labor side. First, you'll notice that the FY '27 request represents a 0% increase compared to what was requested in FY '26. You'll notice the special stipends and other are decreases as the former town clerk retired, and hopefully she's enjoying that retirement. And the assistant
She's
town...
not, she joined the finance.
But I can hope. And so there's that. The other thing you'll notice is due to the changeover in the assistant town clerk, compared to the FY '26 requested budget, there's an 8% decrease that simply represents the years of service that the prior assistant town clerk had, and now starting in step one with the new incumbent in that position. And you'll also notice the other, which was the longevity. Was that, I don't know if that was longevity or...
I'd say it's
Uniform.
longevity for the 500.
No, it was longevity.
Longevity, okay.
Yeah.
And so you'll notice
So you
that.
dropped the assistant 8%, is he good with that?
No,
No, he was
that
hired at step
That
one.
was just his salary. She's
So that was
been
the-
here
Oh,
6 years.
so he never got that?
Right.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was what Jess had when she was working and when
Yeah.
they did
Right,
the
so-
hire.
Her being multiple steps higher, now
I get that,
the new
yeah.
hire gets the step one.
Yeah.
Oh, I see, this is budget versus budget, not real versus real.
Yeah.
Right. So if we
That's on the next.
flip over, FY '26's enacted budget compared to what is proposed does show a more meaningful increase. It shows a 7% overall. And the comment I have, just as there's overtime budgeted for the assistant, part of the drive for the increase that's shown here is that the town clerk is not a overtime eligible position. So part of the reason why the salary is what it was, and one of the other members of the finance committee can attest to all of the additional hours that go into these many elections. The other thing that I'll remark is that the market rate for similarly situated towns, particularly those that are frequently having these special elections that need to be thrown together on, I think it ended up being 28 days notice, it requires, a certain amount of additional hours constantly beyond just the standard office hours that the office is open to the public. So that's what's driving the restoration to what was before the budget cuts. I'll open for questions.
So you're not on a contract, is that right?
Correct.
Because it's an elected position?
Yeah, and they're not allowed to anyways, even if they were appointed.
Okay.
And so no overtime, it's just X?
It's-
Correct.
It's the
Yeah.
job,
And-
job requirements.
Theoretically, town meeting could appropriate a overtime line item. I'm not sure how that would work with, it is an exempt, FLSA exempt position. That's,
I think some towns allow a stipend for extra elections
yeah, and so that's something that we could look at. And so if we wanted
because of the
to
extra hours.
call the increase a particular, election, stipend, or however we wanted to do it. There are options on how that could be brought forward legislatively in the warrant, but the proposal nonetheless would remain the same, in sum. Any other questions or concerns on the labor category?
So you're demonstrating that the position of town clerk was cut by $14,000?
No, so it was,
12?
well, actually, if you're including the stipends and other things,
Yeah,
although
I mean,
the FY '26 request was never enacted, so
This is
Oh,
what
no,
was
no, no,
requested.
the
Okay.
FY '25 budget for the town
Yeah, I
clerk
see that.
position.
And then, so it's about $12,000.
what's enacted mean?
That's what,
That's what town meeting passed.
So, not-
So FY '25's salary was about $79,000, and then plus the additional stipends. So the real decrease was closer to 10,000, because I would be ineligible for those stipends. Or I should say, the new office holder
It
would
could
be
be,
ineligible.
And I was back to 162 for just a sec.
Yes.
Because it's election this year, I'm gonna make the assumption that you're gonna be on the ballot in the spring election,
That's correct, yes.
which would require that somebody else run the election?
No,
Okay.
the state ethics law has a very explicit carve-out that allows town clerks to perform the necessary election-related
Okay.
functions.
I just, it's, and that's.
Is town clerk only a one-year term?
3 year. It was 1 year because of
I
resignation.
retired a year
A
early.
year.
Oh, okay. So the
Yeah.
normal term is actually up this year.
Yes.
Correct.
See.
Yeah. Yep.
So this will be a 3-year term
This'll
on the
be-
ballot.
Gotcha.
For this year, and not a 1 year.
Oh, okay, that's.
Have any competition?
As of right now, papers aren't opened, so papers will be opening on
Are you
the
gonna
first
run?
Monday. Yeah, were you gonna run?
I have a lot of fun walking. You know why the paddock is so close to the front door?
But the papers will open for all of the seats that'll be up on this upcoming election, beginning the first Monday in April.
Oh, the first Monday in April.
Oh, that's
Or, I'm
right.
sorry,
February,
first
right?
February.
February
February.
1, it was until March.
Yes, until the very first week in March.
Oh, it's like a month to get signatures.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
That sounds right. Okay, so I understand the longevity's cutting. I mean, I recognized the numbers and the special stipend. Yes, we're not putting it in because the person incumbent in the position now doesn't have that.
Right.
I sort of hate taking something out and putting it back in later on, but
Yeah, that'll be 5 years down the road,
It'll-
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of,
or 4 years.
and will people remember that it's there. We've voted it in as a town, so we'll come back when it's
Yeah.
eligible, so. It'll stay as an active item in the budget, just not, or in the accounting system.
Well, I mean, the other thing
Like, there'll be
is,
no budget for it this year.
because this position is unique,
Yeah.
being the only compensated elected position,
Mhm.
the town does have the legislative right to choose not to if it doesn't want to, or if it doesn't want to pay the town clerk longevity. Town meeting doesn't need to.
And that's only the $900 one. The
No, that's
$1,000.
longevity, yeah.
The
Yeah,
$1,000 one.
one is the certification,
Is the
and when he
certification.
becomes certified, that has to be voted on again.
Yeah, that
It's
is,
not a given.
I thought it was to.
well, that's
Yeah,
an
okay.
adopted MGL, so whenever the incumbent becomes certified, that MGL is immediately active.
Oh, is it? I thought it had to be voted in again for that person.
The compensation article may need to happen again,
Oh,
but
okay.
Okay.
But the
the actual
acceptance doesn't.
acceptance of the MGL has happened.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
it's-
understood, so just,
I don't understand it. You lost me on MGL.
Anything else on labor? I understand, I mean, 17% on paper is a meaningful jump. It's a restoration to where the position would have been this calendar year if it weren't for the cuts made by the select board. Yeah,
no, it, understood. Going in, we'll start with there, we are going to have joint meetings with the select board. And you will be invited back, this was
Yeah.
courtesy because we're,
on the topic of expenses,
yeah,
you know, there's a slight increase in the equipment maintenance and repair, which really is less physical equipment, and our digital database equipment had a small increase of $300. Every other line item is the exact same as what was requested for FY26. If we compare, however, to what the town meeting actually passed, it's a 22% increase overall. I'll point out a couple of lines in particular. Office supplies we're going to expend more than is currently budgeted in the current year for office supplies. We'll be able to absorb that out of other line items that are within the 160 category. So, you know, the overall 160 should remain level or within budget for FY26. But the cut in half just doesn't reflect that, you know, we're required to maintain a really large number of different supplies for different purposes. You know, our vital records are printed on quite expensive paper. That this, you know, we're required to use paper that is not just your standard 8.5 by 11 printer paper. We have to maintain the town seal and all of these other miscellaneous supplies that go into all of the, you know, really large number of miscellaneous functions that the office is responsible for. The other thing that really baffles me is that the select board cut the postage line item to $0. For the current fiscal year, that just doesn't reflect that in numerous state statutes we are required to send particular mailings out. So, you know, I've placed it back at the FY26 request of $975. You know, I put it concisely that, you know, the reality is I intend to follow the law. So these mailings are going to be done. Now, what
Is the 975 basically the amount that you'll need to spend on the mailings?
for the 160 function? So
Okay.
there was money available in the 162 function for this fiscal year.
Right.
The other piece of it as well is that you know, to provide a little insight into the internal procedure. Excuse me. The treasurer's office maintains the postage machine. And as a part of their budget, they pay for the machine, and then they also front the money effectively for the postage. And so, they'll, send in $3,000, $5,000 periodically, however much, into the vendor, Quadient, and that'll be just placed on account, and then it'll be metered when we run the mail through. And basically what happens is we punch our office code into the machine. It tracks how many mail pieces each office is sending, and we may or may not be asked for reimbursement, or I could just send accounting a letter, please transfer from this line item to this line item, based off of the usage, because I can see that number as well, of how many mail pieces, and just calculate, okay, I need to send Melissa, $1,000, and have accounting transfer that. So that's the process, the way it works. And so this year, if our office ordinarily would have come up short because we were $1,000 short, that would be reflected in the, I believe, professional services line of the treasurer's office. So if you're looking at the BVA and notice that, the utilization there, let's say is negative $1,000, that would be, let's say, because of the, I couldn't transfer her the $1,000. My understanding is that there's enough to absorb there, but it's possible, depending on the mailing needs of the other offices, it may not.
Okay. So the 975 request essentially reflects how much money you believe you're gonna need to spend next year on the mailings that you need to do.
Correct, and I think, Kathy, you may be able to speak to, I think utilization was pretty close to the 900. And, we've cut a number of the discretionary mailings that are done. Even despite that, the price stays where it is for this line item, because the post office, I think it's been 10 times over the last 3 or 4 years that they've increased the postage, gone from 50 cents to 78 a mail piece now.
Right, I went in before Christmas to buy stamps, and the guy, oh, good time to buy them because the postage is gonna be going up. I said, okay, well, let me buy it.
Yeah.
I bought like an extra 100 stamps because I figured I'll pay the lower price now because they were the forever ones that don't run out.
Yeah.
So that's the explanation regarding that line item. I don't know, Kathy, do you have any insight into why that cut happened?
I thought they took it and put it into the elections account, and so we ended up drawing off of there.
I thought that's what it was.
Am I right?
I guess I would need to compare FY25 to FY26.
Okay.
I mean, we may have enough to do the transfer over to Melissa, but I mean, we do have a non-elections related mailings that need to happen.
Yeah, so the FY25 approved advertising, printing, and postage was $4,500 in FY25, and it was cut to $1,000.
Because we didn't have all the elections for the early vote.
Oh,
ballots.
so this would be tough to compare what's what between elections.
You'd kind of have to go back 4 years.
Yeah. So all right. Regardless, and that's a comparison I can go back and try to get the data on. The other line item of note here is the training budget is restored back to the $1,000 that was requested in FY26, but was not received. Instead, that budget was cut in half. And while that is going to be made to work for this year, the needs of the office, especially with you have although I've done 6 elections, 7 elections now, there's still ongoing training and professional development that needs to be done. The other thing is you have an assistant town clerk who needs to participate in these trainings in order to be adequately trained. He was thrown into the battlefield in July. All right, let's get it done. And I've never had a smoother election than what we had in July. I think the biggest controversy was that precincts 1 and 3 were reversed upstairs. The fact that that was the biggest deal is, I think, meaningful that, everything else went, really well from a procedural standpoint.
I didn't notice any changes other than
And so,
when I looked back at it. I just walked in, looked for one, and
there you go.
got out.
Yeah, but a lot of
Didn't
people
look-
don't know
it
to
didn't
look for their
sticky.
precincts.
Should've been here. No, it was here.
I did get a lot of remarks about it though, so,
The sign's
but,
right at the bottom of the stairs.
So
Absolutely.
I don't know, it seems like every time I come in, the upstairs is set up a little bit different, so.
yeah, so that was
We've
the,
tweaked it over the years, and
Yeah.
I think this is the way it's set up now, I think is a good,
I'm gonna, because now if I switch it back, people are gonna be even more confused, and so,
I know,
you know,
I don't know how to
I-
read 1, 2, 3.
Newtown.
I don't know, but.
Right, I do the same thing, come in, oh, okay, where's, I mean, I don't,
I go to the left.
I can't remember where
Now I
3
gotta
was
go to the
before, so it's always good to figure out, where do I gotta go?
But I opened the doors to the Great Hall and I went 1, 2, 3, and I just
instead of
assumed.
1, 2, 3. you did-
Yeah,
Oh,
it
he
was,
went from
le-
left to right instead of right to left.
yeah, I know, and
It's always
that's gonna
got
be
to
a
right.
controversial,
Right,
the
the 3
press
was
will
always
ask me
on the
about
If
this.
that's, if that's the
always
worst thing that
best.
happened, right, you say, count yourself lucky, right?
Right, so.
And before it used to
You
be
wanna know
1,
that?
2, 3.
Right, 3 used to be in the back of the
But
room.
then COVID hit and we had to have
An entry and an
A
exit.
reconfiguration.
Now,
Out the back door.
The thing that I'll say though is, you know, while the election went off, you know, I describe it as flawlessly. I don't, because I'm not going to call that a real meaningful flaw. That, you know, we're going to have the state election that'll be coming up, and you know, Kathy can attest to is that the director of the elections division, who is the undersecretary for Secretary Galvin. You know, she routinely will make announcements that are true breaking news that we are then going to have to implement 2 or 3 weeks later. And, you know, then they'll reverse it again via email, you know, and it causes even more confusion. But the point being, though, is that there's a lot of these announcements and implementation instructions and training that are done at these events that will be particularly important going into an election year. Any
Okay.
other questions or anything? That wraps up my 160 expenses.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm just looking at the omnibus. It's kind of like, the number matches down the bottom, but I don't see training in the list of accounts.
Oh.
So, something for the BBA. But the number. the
Might it
total
show up
number-
under conferences instead of
Um,
T, like, I don't know, maybe it's alphabetically out of order?
Conference went from 500 to 1,000. Conference here isn't listed.
Maybe that's what it is then.
Isn't it listed under training or something?
So we get, so here, with the conference, it was 500 to 1,000.
Training, it's
Yeah,
listed
yeah.
under training.
That's what it is there. The training line item is conference.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay,
Oh, and you mean on
so
the,
this says training,
yeah,
this says conference.
right.
They should say the same.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
why I say the bottom
That's-
line was.
The template said training.
Is it a black horse or a white horse?
Where, that's why we've asked for consistency in
Yeah.
numbers and match. So.
I can
nothing-
make that
nothing big.
adjustment.
Yeah, it's gonna,
Any other overall big picture questions, you know, about the office overall?
Are you running again? Did somebody already ask you that?
Yes.
Yes, I will be running again, and, you know, with.
Sorry, I guess I'm obviously getting
I'm
old.
gonna fill in
No,
a
that's all right,
bit.
and, you know, I would appreciate the opportunity for the town to consider renewing its one-year trial.
I won't wanna try anybody else, thank you, you've done a good job. The Dropbox for the census, is that one out there that says checks only?
No, so that one's the treasurer's box, there's a much larger
Oh, well,
box
forget
that's
the
right next to
regular.
it. And-
Oh, that big one?
Yeah, the big one.
For the census?
Yeah, well, it might say elections or ballot box on it, but it's the same, it'll all come to the clerk's office. And the other thing, you know, if someone puts it in the treasurer's box, I've noticed they've put a few in our regular mailbox, you know, so folks
You'll
might
find
put
it in the treasurer's box.
Yeah, they'll get it to us and vice versa, if someone puts it in our box, we
I
get it
know
to
they're
them.
gonna be here, I brought it in.
That's all right, and we also have the interior box as well near the mailroom door, so we have a lot of folks. Thank you all for your time, and just let me know if there are any other questions. And I'm sure I'll see you all soon.
Thank you. Bye, Harrison. Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, you don't have to fill that out. That's, the state form, it has cats and dogs on
We
it.
brought a big laugh in our house.
Yeah.
Horses.
Yeah, we had a
Take
German
it.
Shepherd that acts like a cat, so we
Yeah.
kind of, we got a laugh out of that one.
Yeah, well, I don't know, if
You
you
don't have
count it as a
license.
cat, do you still have to get a license?
Yeah, you don't have to license cats, right?
Yeah, you might have to ask me.
Not yet.
Oh,
Let's see what the state.
Right.
some people in this town, it cost them thousands of dollars to license a cat.
All right. Thank you all, have a great night.
Thank you, Harrison.
Enjoy.
Okay,
Where are we going?
now we're doing finance.
Okay, and I did not print them. Carol, did you print them out? or-
Gary, did I just?
I can,
Oh,
I can share.
these aren't the sheets?
no, this,
Carol's like Mrs. Turner.
this I wanted to use as part of the reviews on the others this week.
Okay.
And this will, okay, do we want,
The reserve fund and the,
yep, so we got 130. We start with 131. Do you want me to show it up on the screen, or is it?
Yeah, why don't you do that?
Okay. Let's see.
As opposed to running off more printing.
Okay, you can tell me about it.
Our budget's fairly benign.
Our budget's straightforward.
Right.
Yep.
One on front.
I was gonna say, see if I can find it. Where would I put it?
But we know how much is in the reserve fund, don't we? It's
Well,
40,000.
we, that,
From last year, we got 10.
I want to increase it to 10.
So we're gonna put it up
increase
to
it back to
50?
the FY
Oh, okay.
25.
Well, that's fair.
It's kind of, so what,
So increase it to 50. So
Yeah.
add 10. I think that's good.
Well, we've almost crossed it at least once, and you don't want to get to the point of
What are these?
ever crossing that number.
132.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
And
The reserve
it's kind of like a forced savings account if
Okay.
they don't come and hit us for it.
And the other one
Yeah.
is just the
Okay.
finance committee, which is 131.
everybody able to see
What's
that?
131? What's the reserve?
What, 130, we'll start with the account we have for 131, which is our expense
Oh,
account. And so all we have, it's listed as departmental expenses, but that is our membership dues and
right.
we only have one line. It's kind of like, and so we pay our MMA dues with it. And if we're doing the printing and attending conferences, that's,
Carol went to the conference.
Yeah.
So how
Right.
much is in that? Because I can't read.
So it's 750.
How much?
It's
750.
with 750 this year, and
Yeah.
so it's the same. Do we want,
Carol, how much was your,
65.
65?
yeah,
Oh, so,
I mean, if we all went,
and how much do we spend on membership?
it goes up a little bit, so let's say 215 next year.
So most likely, we're not gonna expend the entire 750 this year?
Probably not. We are at the 200, so
yeah.
yeah, let's see if it's in the BB day.
Are there any other conferences that would be coming up that we need to pay for?
There might be another conference or two in the spring. Usually, I know they're doing the big Connect, I think it's called Connect 351, where all towns are invited. And
Is that
that's
the MMA?
tomorrow? Yeah.
Yeah,
Tomorrow?
that's an expensive one too, isn't it?
But it's tomorrow, so I mean, what are the
Yeah,
chances?
it's kinda-
Forget
I-
it, yeah.
Yeah, no,
I
I'm
just-
not going to Boston for that.
Yeah, and it's Boston. It's a
no.
multiple day, it's
The
3
Worcester
days.
was fine.
So I think the single day.
Oh, what about
conference-
Neshoba breakfast?
February.
Do we need to notify them?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
sign up
Oh,
online.
Sign up.
that was,
Oh, you sign up online?
Yeah, there's a little registration link, and all you have to do is just put your name in
I'll
there.
Where
forward
do
it
you
to
go
I'll forward it to you.
Oh, it's
I
in his
haven't read it
email.
yet. It's kind of like
I saw you,
Harrison
I
sent
saw
it
your
out.
name on
I'm
it.
on it. Do you want me to put you on?
Yeah.
Do you want me to put you on? You going?
Yeah. When is it?
February
Fifth, is it the
the
5th?
5th, the 7th. It's a Wednesday.
I want to say the 5th,
So
but
what's a Wednesday in February? At the beginning of
Well,
the
let's
month?
see. Hang on a
I'm
second.
sorry, the phone didn't make it out of the house.
Wednesday,
Wednesday?
4.
Is it
Is
4th?
the
Is
4th.
the 4th or the
okay,
11th?
it could be the 4th, it's something
I'm
like
I'm going
that.
with the 4th.
Okay, we'll catch that
Can't
in.
remember.
I bet, I wrote it on my calendar.
I have it on my
at home.
calendar too. I'm thinking it's the 4th,
Okay.
but I'll let you know. And I'll sign you up.
Okay.
You can sign both of them up?
I'll sign you up.
You signed up for it.
Yeah.
Donna, have you signed up?
No, I haven't yet.
Are you going?
I haven't even looked at it yet.
You don't go because you work, right?
I work. I
Yeah.
don't necessarily want to, but I
It's
do.
a wonderful event.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
it's a really good event
Harrison sent it
because
out.
the superintendent Denise Pigeon is a great communicator and she knows her numbers down to the penny. And she's got great slides and her presentation is so informative and understandable. It's not all pie in the sky like the high school.
No, it's Thursday, February 5th.
Okay,
Okay,
So it's Thursday.
okay.
February
And
5th,
and
okay.
it's not really, all you have,
9:30.
it comes up like a spreadsheet, it's not like
Oh,
the
yeah, it's very
registration.
weird. You
It's
have to-
weird.
It's like an Excel sheet. You
It looks
gotta-
like an Excel sheet,
Yeah.
and you just type your name on
And that's
it.
it.
Oh.
Very weird.
It's,
Oh,
and then,
okay.
and then,
Okay.
it's just a weird, it's not your typical registration form, it's just a weird thing.
No, it's very weird.
What
The
time
first
is it?
time 9:30.
9:30.
The first time I saw it, I said, this can't be right.
Well,
Because I didn't know it would stay.
Well, I didn't either, and then I saw your name, and I said, oh, well, let me
Well, if
just.
she can do it, I can do it. It's okay. It's all right, Carol, I
That's
get
why,
it. It's all right.
So, this is the
I said, I'm
PDA
gonna try typing my
from
name and
November,
see
so
what
it's only
happens.
showing the annual
It did
dues
stay.
at 201, but we did the 65, so. Right now, there's a
132 must be the reserve fund.
$484 balance
Yeah, 132 is right there.
in the account. So, but
But,
I'm
what?
just trying to do the math, it's kind of like,
Okay.
see where we are, kind of.
I don't think $750 is outrageous.
No.
I think we just keep it there, and
Yeah.
if we can't use it, we don't use it. If we do use it, we do.
No, but I wanted, if all 7 of us would go to a $65,
That was my thought.
Yeah, but we're not all gonna go, because Dave has to work, Sam has to
Yeah, but
work.
if there's multiple ones too.
Depends where
right,
they
yeah,
are.
exactly. So
Depends on
it's
where
kind of, so if,
So
say,
that we can judiciously choose which ones to go to
Yeah.
yeah,
and things like that. I mean, I
we
would
could
say
do,
leave it as it is and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We use it, we don't.
Yeah.
yeah, but
If we
I don't
go
wanna
over, we can do a
undo and
transfer.
come back.
Yes.
Well, we don't have anything to transfer it from, we'd have to do a municipal transfer and find someplace else to do it. If we say
Got our
we're gonna,
40,000 bucket.
if,
Yeah, we have our $40,000 reserve fund.
I thought we were going for 50 again.
Out of there.
underfunding a budget is not a reason to use the reserve fund. It would have to be shot down by this committee.
It's an unexpected expense,
It's-
right?
Oh, my word, okay.
Yeah,
All right, bump it
I
up to
agree with that,
1,000 and let it
because the 750 has been around for a long time and we've never gone over it. So if we were ever to
Just let
get
it run.
the ability for everybody to go to several meetings that are very important to us, that's an unexpected expense.
There we go.
Yeah.
Correct,
Correct.
correct.
We have a
Okay,
history to prove it.
all right, so 750 stays.
We do, and one time we were able to print manuals out of there. This year we couldn't print the manuals because
But you printed
There wasn't.
them, right?
we did them on the copier here.
Yeah.
So it wasn't printed and bound.
You know,
So very,
So,
very different.
Yes,
So
so-
waiting for my servant to come home so
Okay.
that
If we're-
they
if
get
we're-
the hole stamped in them and they get in my blue book.
But the reserve, but the
Give it
reserve
to Carol,
fund,
she'll do it. She's good at that.
that's for unexpected expenses, right?
My papers,
God,
they don't have holes in it.
Yeah.
So they're over here on top of the dog cage, waiting for somebody to come along and punch the holes in them and put them in the blue book,
well,
which is up on the,
bring me your papers, and don't punch holes
See,
for
I
you.
told you.
Okay.
next Tuesday, I'll bring the whole book.
Are we meeting next Tuesday?
Yes,
Yeah,
Every
Yeah,
Tuesday
we're-
between
every
now and
Tuesday.
ever.
At this point.
Between now and when?
Ever.
forever.
The hell,
Through,
it's already frozen.
it's budget season, so, okay.
Okay, so
So-
750 stays.
750 stays, and if we go over it, we'll, or if we attempt to go over it, we'll be looking for transfer.
When is it, January 27th?
Okay, then 132 is
The reserve fund.
the reserve fund, and very similar to what we had seen. We're trying to go back to where we were,
50,000, right?
Right.
50,000.
So we want to
is
give
the-
ourselves 10,000.
And
No,
again,
get it
it's,
back.
we want to give the town 10,000 so that we don't have to come in to a special town meeting. The idea of this is that there's a small amount of money. When we look at the $50,000 and compare it to the town budget, we're talking about maybe half of 1% of the town budget, and less than that if you include the total budget, which is the schools included. I'm just doing it with the town. So 50,000 isn't really, it's not as much money as it used to be.
So should we ask for more?
No.
What's recommended?
Yeah,
Is there a
what's
recommended percentage?
A recommended range, and it depends on if you have a policy about it. Some people will try to do up to 5% of their budget.
So what would that number
Into
be for
reserve.
us?
That'd be about 250,000.
We
That's
can't
a
even get
jump.
that in stabilization.
Well, that's the piece.
Or do they combine them?
They want to combine, stabilization is going to need a 2/3 majority to vote
Okay.
and use the money. This money is for the finance committee,
In selectmen?
and no, this is
This
strictly.
is
finance
our
committee.
money, Kathy.
The reserve fund is only from the other municipal transfers.
Can we bump it up to 100,000?
I
I
doubt
don't,
it.
yeah.
I doubt it this year.
Well, that's the piece, it's kind of like, if we were to jump that much, it wouldn't be clear, but if we had a big job, say unplanned for a roof for town hall,
What about a boiler?
you're gonna have to have a boiler, could, again,
Well,
take most of it, that's unplanned, or is that meaning that you underfunded your maintenance because you didn't take into account you could lose your boiler,
oh, you mean the maintenance department?
the maintenance
Oh, I
department
see.
facility?
I
It's kind of like, so is that unplanned or an underfunded budget?
Depends on, it really depends on the type of machinery you're actually really talking about.
It-
Whether in other words, we should be putting,
Well, they keep cutting his budget, so I mean. how much
Yeah,
can they
but-
cut?
Well, yeah,
Budget-
so I say
well,
put it
but
in for
maintenance
100,000. let them
budget
cut it.
should be unreasonable,
Right, but
known historical
Yeah.
types of
should
things
we,
that go
should
wrong.
we be having two reserve funds? One reserve fund for the general operation of the town, and one for another 50,000, say,
We need a
for
bigger book.
the maintenance, building maintenance, so instead of every
We're not,
department.
oh, you're an emergency building, emergency.
Right, yeah, so instead of every department that has maintenance in their budget,
Yeah.
fire, police, facilities, do one reserve fund for them, and wherever the overrun for maintenance is, that it goes there. You can have more than one reserve fund. It's not,
But ours should be 50,000 at minimum.
as a
Right.
minimum, I mean, I'd like to see it go to 100,000 and be
All right, let's do that.
a percent. But we're more than likely gonna
They're
cut,
just gonna take
if we're gonna be asked to cut it back again, because.
I know, but better they ask us to cut 100,000 than they ask us to cut 40.
So,
So if they, so we asked for 100, they would cut to 75. It'd still be 25 ahead.
Right,
Yeah,
now,
yeah, let's go,
and-
let's ask.
and historically, we did the numbers we did historically, and we're about 35,000 a year, so, there's not a lot of,
Wiggle room.
how much was requested last year, do we know?
we started
We
with
started
30,
with 50.
and it was dropped to
And
40.
they bumped us 40 or something.
Yeah, but how many, what was the
We
year
haven't
before
had
that?
any requests yet.
I know, we haven't had it, but last year,
Okay, that's,
was it all used?
no,
No.
just the 16,000 on that first page, that's reserved.
Oh,
The-
well,
the
what are
top-
these?
These are municipal transfers at the end of the year, taking money from one
Oh, and this is, okay, all right, I see what it is now, I get it. Okay, yeah,
Top
okay,
page,
got it.
yep, the top page is what we
Yes,
did for FY '25.
Two different things.
And then whatever is in here goes into free, at the end of the year goes into free cash, and we start all over. It's not like a special article that keeps going.
Right.
Okay,
Yes,
Right.
correct.
Yeah.
It's kind of like,
That's separate. I'd say go for the 100.
I know, I'm satisfied with the 50.
wouldn't it be nice if it could be a special article though?
it
And
will
then
be,
you
and
add-
then you would have to replenish it and come back with a special article to replenish it. That kind of, but I don't think reserve funds
Can
can
do
work that
that.
way.
Okay.
Because,
I was just thinking, whatever's
I'll-
left over, why can't it go into stabilization? Wouldn't that be nice?
But we're gonna
Right,
get
just go-
stabilization back, the
if you-
160, at some juncture, right? From Board of Health?
No,
No,
No?
no,
no, they're not.
that's gone.
That's gone.
okay, sorry. You kind
Why
of,
would we worry about that?
No,
I mean, you know,
No,
what's this?
that's gone, that's not reimbursable.
oh,
right, okay, so,
so it's a free loan?
Mm-hmm.
No, we paid for it in our tax raises over the several, at least 2 tax raises since I remember. I had nothing to do with anything but the trash.
Yeah.
And now the selectmen have come along and said, we don't care about your trash problem. And we turned around.
Okay, then,
Okay.
point
We
of
need to
order. Point of order.
Yeah, we gotta
Don't bring up the bad news.
it's kind of like,
get on trash.
Sorry, that was my fault. I led you into that, I did it
it kind of,
unwittingly,
You
but it
provoked
was
him.
my, I did, I'm sorry. Sorry, Sue. So,
so we had submitted the 50, we can, and if I jump in and take a look,
Are we gonna go up to 100?
no, if we're gonna go to 100, then we're gonna have to,
Specify.
But, what?
And where are you gonna get the extra 50,000 from?
Exactly,
Yeah.
especially this year.
right,
Yeah.
but that's the big thing.
I think we should just leave it to 50.
But,
Yeah.
so,
so we can get our 10 back.
so
Yeah.
if we talk about our 5-year plan, which we haven't really talked about, we've asked you to think about it. But we did see a version of a 5-year plan. Would our 5-year plan increase it $10,000 a year till we get to 100?
Okay, so we get our 10 reimbursed and add another 10. So, and then we can start at 10 each year for the 5-year
But
plan, then we have 100.
But wasn't the
Barring
five-year
nothing
plan
happening.
that Nelson put together showed a deficit for every year?
This is what I mean, it doesn't matter what the numbers are, you can just say whatever you want.
No, but the idea is that the backing is,
No, I get it, I think it makes sense.
I don't, yeah, we don't want to increase it by 50,000 this year and say, let's go up.
Yeah, we do,
ever-
but we can't.
Have we ever reached $50,000 in
We have
requests?
Couple of years, we
That
have,
close.
we have totally used it
Okay.
in
We
my
have,
time on the
Okay.
committee. So it's kind of like,
so we need 50.
I mean, it's hit or miss
Yeah.
every year, and I understand that.
Right.
You can't
it is, you can't.
plan for it, but it just gives you a little bit of history, and if we've reached that, then we should have at least that much, if not,
Right, yeah, it's,
if not asking for the 10,000 back plus an additional 10.
I think we should go for the 10 back and 10 to start the new 5-year plan. And if we don't get it, we don't get it, but at least we've asked.
That,
I mean,
yeah,
people are asking for stuff, they get whatever they want, I mean,
we-
why not us?
and again, this
So we're at
isn't,
the 70?
this is for
No,
the-
20.
60.
60,
No, 20.
no.
We already have 40.
Yeah, so
already
in total,
sold
we're gonna ask for a total of 60. The 40 plus
For
the
the
20.
10 and then the 10 again.
Right,
Oh, you're saying the total in the kit?
the total,
Oh, I
the
see.
total in the reserve fund.
Yeah,
All right, yeah, 10 and 10.
Okay, so.
and then every
So
year,
we,
Put
That's
10.
what we
try
This is
to-
sort of like the fire and, not fire, what do you call it, not fire and
Fire
ice,
and
the snow and ice.
Mhm.
Remember when Jimmy came in and he said, I really want 250,000, but
I know what I'm gonna get.
I know I'm not gonna get it, but I'm putting it in anyway, I'm trying to be proactive.
Right, it's similar in
Yeah.
the paving plan, yeah.
Speaking of that, have we made any appointments to bring anybody in?
For what?
We have
talk
not
about
yet.
their
Kind of
budgets?
like-
well, aren't we doing that with the selectmen?
Ugh.
I thought
We are,
that's-
yeah.
I thought that's what the,
Oh, you mean it's gonna be all of us in the room?
Right.
at once?
Yeah.
So we're not gonna be able to ask our questions then.
Yeah, you can.
But,
Well,
no, we
won't.
can, but
No,
that
we
was
won't.
part of why we were doing this, to try to come up with what our questions
Might be.
would be for them, provide them to the department heads so that they have an idea coming in, rather than get, not, I won't say blindsided, but hit with a question that they weren't prepared to answer in the room if they have,
But isn't each department unique in itself? So every department should have a different, you're not gonna ask the same question of the same, everybody gets a
No,
unique.
of course
Right.
No,
not.
we're gonna
Yeah,
review
you're
them,
right.
but we're
Right.
not gonna meet with the department heads, correct? Is
We
that
met with them
correct?
last
well,
year. We just met
one
with
of
them
the,
at
one of the
Harrison.
things that I was trying to do with this, and I didn't do it well, so maybe we'll not review the next two, is let them know we're reviewing it, and we're gonna have, we're gonna prepare our questions for them, if they wanted to sit here live with us.
They came last year, but without the selectmen. We met with
Only
them
in the-
alone.
It's only in the first meetings, after that, it was,
No, right, but we had an initial meeting where, like, Vicky came in, that's when we found out about the clothes
Yes.
and
right. It had a- Yeah, we had a meeting with
each one,
town clerk.
except fire couldn't make it.
Town clerk, assessor, and,
Recreation
And
came
treasurer.
in.
but that was in a joint meeting with.
No,
Board of Selectmen.
no,
Jimmy,
she came in alone.
who did?
What's her name,
And-
Recreation,
Oh, she came
and
And Jimmy,
Smith came in,
he
Jimmy Smith came in alone.
But I thought that was.
Those
the
were
rest
not
of
joint
it-
meetings, no, they
The
were
rest of
not.
it was,
Did Melissa come along?
Melissa came
Melissa came
along.
along, so that-
Melissa,
yeah,
Vicky, Kathy.
and then,
What's her name?
and then we started the joint meeting.
I thought it was Jim and
Jim came in.
Yeah,
But I thought he was with, when we were doing joint meetings with.
Mm-mm, he came in by himself, and then we did the joint meeting with he came in by himself.
I thought he did too, but I really don't remember.
All right, so are we done with our committee budget?
Yeah,
I'll-
we're getting
So
20,000.
we're going up to 60, right?
We're gonna go up to 60 for FY '27, and then we're gonna increase it 10,000 a year till we get to 100,000.
That's a 5-year plan though.
That's a multi.
We don't have to tell them that.
Well, I would like to, so that it shows,
We should tell them.
yeah, we should tell them, this is our, what we want to do, is try to come up to 1%.
Oh, you mean
of
tell the
this.
town that that's our goal?
That's our-
Okay, yeah,
That's our goal, and why we're doing this.
yeah, that's a good idea.
And again, with the pieces that we have, we know things are more expensive when you have an unexpected, unplanned
Right,
cost.
can we meet with collector treasurer?
Mhm.
I really, there was a couple things that she said last year
Yep.
that I want to revisit, and one of them was that everything should be coded. Everything should be coded, and it should be the same system for every
Mhm.
department, and I
Yeah,
want
Yep.
she had that, yes.
right.
The list of codes.
That-
Yeah,
I want to know what's going on with that, because I think that was a very good idea. I think she's an organized person.
Yeah,
yep, so I,
Board. Just check.
so right now I have the
I
BBA.
heard you, I mean, I know.
I should pull it up.
Well,
If I can find it. pull it up. Because this would be one of the things.
Carol, was that going to cause extra money
what?
to
To
to have everything coded the same? I just want to revisit that again, because it made sense to me.
Well, she was, I think it was, this is her sheet, but I think it was this code here, which I believe goes on the, doesn't this go on the omnibus
It-
budget?
It's actually, that's actually the account that's in the Vader system.
Oh,
So
okay.
that is the actual number that they would use and log everything against in the accounting system. So yes, it's
Was that,
there.
was that the number she was
Mhm.
saying
Yeah.
that should be,
And the other
so
thing,
that you could track everything easily?
yeah, and the other thing she said was that there were projects that had not been reconciled to zero.
Yes, there was something about,
Special article?
No.
No, I think there was accounts or something.
Grants,
that- or
accounts,
some-
something.
that
They didn't
somehow
use it all, they just left it,
was
just left
left,
it balanced.
and I
It
don't
was
think
there,
anybody's
right.
like gone in and like reconciled these accounts to like clean them out, so if they haven't been used for 10 years,
Against desire.
Okay,
then
so-
Remember
somehow,
that?
and I forget.
But they would, it sounds like those were the special article ones.
And they cleaned them up last year, if I remember right, didn't they take a lot
Right,
of?
that needs to be an annual.
Right,
Yeah, but we should get the scoop from her this year.
Yeah.
Are there any more left?
Oh,
There-
Is there an overlooked one? How do they lose money?
There are, we'll take a
Oh, their
look at
money's
it.
posted to the wrong account,
And it-
I didn't know,
I
are
guess
they
that's-
fixed?
Yeah.
Because we know some money's been posted to the wrong accounts.
It goes somewhere, and then all of a sudden it comes back, and then it gets to be spent wherever they want, and then we
Right, so-
don't have a truck.
So,
So are we gonna ask them to,
I would
so
like
let
to
just come in
speak
and the
with her.
treasurer, they would.
Yeah, I personally, yeah.
okay, so, trying to,
I'd like to see highway come in again though.
I would too.
Yeah.
And
So-
recreation, for sure.
And recreation,
For
yeah.
sure, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
so one of the pieces that is similar to what you're talking about is a question that I had when we started looking at these. I'm gonna highlight the account within the Board of Assessors. They have this line that, for the FSA in their account, and they have it under wages,
Under wages?
under wages.
And what is it for, really?
I believe that's flexible spending account reimbursement,
Oh, we
Yeah.
don't do that, do we?
that's what it is.
and so
But in-
we have that line under wages in the Board of Assessors office. If we go to the Treasurer Collector's office, and we go to expenses, you have a line, and this gets to the account piece, they have it under expenses as an FSA reimbursement. So it's kind of like, so you've got one department saying it's
That's what we
wages.
tried to get cleared up this year,
Right,
Yeah.
and we want to try
but
to,
that didn't work. So do we try again?
yeah,
Or do
I
we just,
think,
like,
yeah,
forget it?
it's kind of like, because reporting wise, it gets to the codes, you know, we get two probably different sets of codes because expenses are a different set of codes than,
Well, is it something that gets paid to them? Like at one point,
Mm.
$250 or whatever,
right.
and then they can buy whatever they want from it? Or is it reimbursable? Do you see the
Well, an
difference?
Yeah.
FSA is reimbursable.
But,
It used to be, but I think they changed, I think there was something that was changed in their contract, wasn't it?
and we'd have
I
to
think-
check, and if it is, then it,
Then it should be under salary if they get that chunk in their paycheck and then they,
Right. yeah.
I
So
thought
that's-
FSAs were also only employee contributed.
no. Oh, wait a minute, I was thinking clothing.
Okay, yep,
Yeah. So, no, in their contract, so it should go into wages because they get paid that much towards their,
towards their FSA.
yes.
So in their contract,
But then it doesn't go into wages, does it? It goes into,
what are you're saying in
Their
Right, it's an
FSA.
exempt, it's an exempt.
so, yeah, so
It's
how do
exempt.
you classify
Well,
that?
but, and that's why.
Wait a minute, why are
we've
we-
got- We've got.
My wife's gotta pay for her own FSA, why are we paying for their
It
FSA?
was one of the benefits they requested in their contract, their union contract.
See, this is what I'm saying, this is a
See,
big
nobody's
deal.
reading those
Yeah,
contracts.
nobody's reading the contract, we have horrible people negotiating for the town.
But I think it was just in the
I agree,
Is it
so
in
what
the
I-
administrative
what I'm getting to
contract?
with this
What's
is,
it
in
called?
the,
we're
in
not
the,
consistent in how we're gonna see the budgets if one has it in
Not
expenses and one
the town
has it.
Well, that's
in
exactly
But
right,
the
we
clerical-
tried to get
the
that
clerical
squared
union.
away.
And
Okay,
number
and
one,
what's
and number
it-
two is we have to go to all the other
do you have the
departments
contract?
Yeah.
and see.
This expired,
FSA.
yeah, this goes to June 30th.
Yeah, it's the FSA account, I believe it's $250 that they get towards in their FSA account.
What's that, what is that account?
Flexible spending account
Oh,
So you can use it for
for certain
for
medical,
co-pays or for,
Okay.
over the counter, eligible over the counter.
yeah,
Wages.
Well, also eligible prescriptions as well.
prescriptions.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, eyeglasses, I think you can use it for.
Yeah, I think,
So we really wanna see those people.
We want
So
to see consistent. Right,
Vicky and Jody.
But it should be, yeah, like you say, it should be consistent.
it should be
Yeah.
consistent, so it's kind of like, and so we can,
But that's really not their fault, because
no,
Nelson was supposed, I know this is like over the bridge, but the
Okay,
TA
Kathy.
told us that he was going to put,
And
make a form that everybody had, everything would be consistent and all the line items. All right, I get it that the ball dropped, but that's not good enough. Just because we
That could be
change
me.
people doesn't
I
mean the
know,
ball
no,
dropped.
it's gotta be,
You know what I mean? We've heard that excuse way too many times.
Yeah.
Oh, we had to change. No, policy's policy, get it fixed.
Well, so Kieran is currently the,
Interim person.
why is he not the permanent?
because you have to do a search and interviews and all that. It's kind of like, he's,
Is that
And
in
now- and
the process?
He can be included in that, right?
If he wishes.
I would say I would expect that there's gonna be a posting and.
They haven't posted the job yet?
I don't think so. It's kind of like, well,
Oh, okay.
maybe they have. I think,
Have they put it out to
We-
advertise?
I don't think you can put it out until the person's actually done with the job, and so I think that would have been a January 5th.
Well, you
Well,
found
now it's January
found it free.
21st.
And-
Article
But-
20,
But those are the
Okay.
pieces. It's
but
kinda like-
I didn't
and then
read it,
it's
so
gonna
I'm not
be
sure
a,
exactly how it's
Oh,
phrased.
committee.
insurance.
But
Oh,
to review the initial and do initial interviews.
$250
And then.
reimburse
after
up to
that,
$250.
what's that
Who
called?
contributes a minimum? Okay,
Job
so it's
search.
the town
Search.
shall
Yeah, the job
reimburse
search,
up
the
to
TA.
$250 each contract year
Do you know
to
who's on it?
FSA eligible employees who contribute a minimum of $250 to an FSA account through the town's FSA vendor.
So we do a matching?
So they must do a matching.
for the first 250,
Right,
because you can have whatever amount you want put in.
deducted from your amount.
Is that,
But the town
is that
gives
the
you,
new contract or is that the old
That's the
contract?
one that
this
is
is
current
expires,
now.
this is the current contract,
Oh, to June this year,
June this year.
26.
So you have to put in 250, the town will give you 250 and then whatever
Wow.
And then
other.
if you want to put in more than that, you can, but they won't match it.
Gotcha.
So it's just the first.
It's a matching up to 250.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's good.
yeah. And then, one of the other things that, I mentioned when Harry was here on these sheets, is when we did the municipal transfers at the end of last year, there were a few that the town clerk had for the MTR 007, 008, and 009. Those were the elections and wages for the operating staff, and we transferred money around. So that's why the questions on the stipends and the areas really moved money. But on the second one was submitted by the Board of Selectmen at the MTR 002. We had a transfer to the tax collector professional and technical services account for $4,500. When we look at the request for this year, that line did not increase by the $4,500, so she's back. The tax collector is requesting the same amount as FY25 going into FY27, yet at the end of FY25, we had to move $4,500 into that account.
So what was that 4,500 for?
Well, that's what we want to know from her. What, is it
Oh, okay.
something that she needs to be budgeting? Or
So-
was it a one-time expense that
Is she gonna look into that?
she's gonna, yeah, she will look into that. It's kind of like.
But the selectmen are the ones who requested it?
Yeah, that's, we,
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
well, but again, I think it's,
Or is it they collect, oh no, they don't.
yeah, I don't know, it's,
Or is it because her budget falls under the Board of Selectmen?
Here's another one, that's their favorite number, $4,500. They've got another one here for the building inspector. Back benefits, what's that one?
okay, so the veterans benefits line had extra money in it, so we moved, at that point, we moved from the veterans benefit line
To the building inspector?
to the building inspector.
From the
Yes,
veterans?
yes, that's what these
Well, they got
transfers,
extra money. It's like land use coordinator. We didn't have a land use coordinator, so money came out of that.
right.
Oh, we have veterans.
Yeah, but they
We
didn't
did, but
use
they
that
didn't
money.
use all the
Yeah,
money.
there's no way to know
How
what
much?
the veterans are gonna need year after
Right.
year.
Say, and
But
these are the
the-
transfers that happen in the last 2 months of the year, the
Yeah.
first 2 weeks into FY '26. So that's,
Right, this is what we spent the July,
this is what we
we
moved
we
around.
spent the
remember
July
thinking-
meeting going through a lot of these.
Right.
Yes, we
But-
did.
But
Mhm, I
because we
remember
went
the
to
bottom
one.
most of the money, we want to look at what
Why?
FY '26 is and FY '27
Right.
and make sure that we're not under budgeting because of these
I
moves.
get it,
You know, was this a one-time move or is this
Right.
something that permanently needs to be looked at in the
Here's
budget?
one,
Right.
20,000. Is this a transfer of 20,000?
Yes, the health insurance.
Does it balance the tax collector's professional service line? Yeah, that's a good question.
Okay, which, I,
I'm on page 2.
Yeah, but what's the number?
MTR
Oh, the number?
003.
okay, so,
MTR 002 and 003.
okay. So those,
Those aren't 20,000,
those,
It says 20,000.
no, that's
those
NTR
those are the
06.
current balances,
Or
and then the ending balance.
Oh, because the second
these-
page is.
The second page is a
goes on.
continuation of the first.
Is
Oh
a
my God.
continuation. So you're gonna pretend that the
Brian,
second
yeah,
page
okay,
goes
I
on.
understand that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm not gonna look.
the amounts that
I
were
was getting
requested and
confused with you,
transferred.
and then I
And-
realized it was the.
Right, and then we track what the balances are in the accounts to make sure that there's enough money in there when we're doing the transfers. So it's a lot of information and
You
we
gotta
don't have full
spread it
balance.
out on your table. So we want Vicky, we want Melissa.
Yep. And again, I didn't see any for,
I think we should
Vicky.
have recreation come in, I think we should have snow and ice come in. I don't know why we're not, before we go before the selectmen. Because, you know my feeling, I'm not gonna repeat it for the public.
yep, no, and that's why I want to have questions.
Highway's a big deal.
So are we gonna defer the last 3, 4, and 5?
It's have
I think-
interviews, or whatever they call them, in person.
Right, but I'm saying from tonight's
Mhm.
agenda.
Oh, for the agenda,
Yeah,
the
if you
collector
don't have
treasurer,
it.
the assessor,
Who else do we need?
Yeah,
and it's the select board accountant, the general.
The assessor?
Oh, yeah,
A collector, assessor.
and then
General
select board,
government.
because
Um,
I wanted to take a look and see if we were going to have
Are
questions.
are we gonna have highway and?
I think we should have highway, we should have rec. I guess parks.
We can't have them all in one, it's kind of like we need to estimate how long each one's going to be. and
Well, I
how
don't, I
long
think
we
you
wanna-
could probably do collector, treasurer, and assessor
yeah.
one night.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
we start meeting with
And
the
then
selectmen.
That soon?
Oh, how
That's-
come
Yeah, in
February?
February, yeah,
Yeah, we
February.
still have 2 meetings before then. You could do rec and highway.
No, we don't, we
one
only
night.
have one. Today's the 20th.
Yeah,
And it's the 27th.
seventh, and then the following week is
Oh,
the
well, I
joint.
guess that takes care of that. Okay, so
So,
we're not allowed to ask questions with the
but
board
if
of
we could
selectmen.
get with the treasurer.
Oh,
You know
yes,
that.
we are.
No, we're not, Kathy. It was abundantly clear last year that certain things they were not gonna answer.
Yeah,
didn't
but
have the
okay,
right
but-
to know.
But it's not them answering. It
Right.
should be the department heads answering.
And that's,
And we can still ask the questions and let them just say no.
Well, then we need to sit down and figure out what questions you want to ask individual departments. You don't want to ask the same person.
Right,
We're
we
gonna do
have-
budgets.
We need the budgets. The budget's not gonna get done until Karen does the budget, right? Karen does the budget,
well, we have that.
based on what each department gives him?
Did he send that to us?
I,
No, it's
No.
not baked.
I,
But that's a word he used, right, John?
What was that
What did he
word?
say?
Baked.
it's
Oh,
not,
not
It's not baked yet,
Not
right.
baked.
Not big.
Yeah, he was working on that,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah, he sent it was about
like a half an hour before the meeting.
Oh, today?
Yeah,
Almost.
he apologized, but he was busy.
yeah,
And it's not done yet anyway, so it
yeah,
doesn't
so,
matter.
yeah, he sent it Again, I looked, I didn't look at my mail. He sent it at 2:51 this afternoon. Here's the link to the FinCom on the omnibus budget. It's not fully, have not fully baked this out, but want to prepare for tonight's meeting. So,
Okay.
So he said he'd be happy to join us at another time.
So when,
so it's a link. So if it's only, it's a
It's not
simple link.
finished.
If we work up with this,
Can you open that link?
yeah.
can anybody open the link?
Yeah, you can open it.
I'm assuming that, and maybe I have to give him email addresses so that everybody can do it. But this link is supposed to be
Oh, did you send that to us or did he?
he sent it to me, I forwarded it
Oh, okay.
out. Yeah,
Oh, if it's one of those crazy links, I might not be able to open it.
I know, that's what I'm thinking
Yeah,
too.
because my computer doesn't like some
but
links.
But it's
I
not
can't-
finalized anyway, so,
right. Let me
you
Okay, so it's
see if I can-
pretend, like,
it's like
Oh,
a
how many-
it's
How
like
many
fake.
pages
Okay.
is it, Don?
Well, it's gonna be
we're in
eight-
them.
800 and some odd lines.
Mm-hmm.
800 pages.
800
No,
lines.
lines.
A lot.
And you get, say,
I quit.
Probably gonna be
20
some
lines
40
on a
pages
page.
or so.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah,
won't
let's say
print it
that,
till
so
it's
Do you know how
final.
many of those things we
And-
have from last
and
year?
again, the
Yeah,
number
I'm not
of
printing
I'm not
until
either.
till
Yeah.
it's final.
Yep,
Final
final.
deal.
But then again, we never had a final last
So
year,
once,
remember?
Well,
once
there's
we
a
get it,
real
I'm gonna
one.
ask
That's
Harrison
true.
if he'll print it out.
But let's wait until the end because we had so many last year.
Yeah.
We must have had.
No,
what it
I'm
is.
saying when he sends us his final.
The final.
Oh, the final, yeah.
The
Yeah,
final.
the
When he gets
final.
it, yeah,
Right.
the
When
final.
we get the final.
Then that could be printed, but,
But now,
Oh, and then the pages were all screwed up, remember?
oh, yeah.
Oh,
but is he taking what the departments are requesting and putting them on a spreadsheet? Is that what he's
we
doing?
don't know.
Because I'd like to see what the departments are requesting versus what's on that spreadsheet.
right, yeah, we wanted, and we have we don't have all the departments, but we have what they had at the time.
But there was only like 3 or 4, right?
So when was the deadline
No,
for
it was
departments?
higher than, I thought it was
Wasn't
higher
it
than that, but.
the?
So the rule on DLS,
It's
if we all read, that if you don't have your budget in by the deadline, it reverts to last year.
Mhm.
End of story.
But they've already gone past the deadline. if I
My
remember.
point exactly. So it's last year's.
I don't, I
I mean, those are the rules. I mean,
yeah,
again, if we're not gonna follow the rules.
Yep.
That's DLS. Now, I know that seems harsh, but you know what? It doesn't.
but you know what, harsh sometimes works for the next year.
I was just gonna say that because that would be,
Maybe that's what you,
I think we
Because-
should follow the rules.
Well, let's see who's turned it in.
Because they get away with it every year,
Exactly.
and so
And
they
that's-
get it, and then just get away with it
do
again.
we know who's turned them in though?
I have no idea.
We don't know.
The only ones I know
I'll
are
go
the ones
back to
Dawn
it,
sent us. I'm sure Emily sent one.
But it,
I'm sure she sent
Yeah,
one.
she was on one of the 24 on
Yeah.
those attachments.
What is the
oh,
deadline?
was it
It
24?
was like December
Those
something,
those
wasn't it?
24 attachments that were
January
in the.
5th.
That I
when
didn't
when they were
figure
supposed
out
to be back.
before.
So
here.
Emmy sent one in, I think it was the
Town
highway
administrator.
department.
I haven't seen any of those.
There wasn't one from the,
Okay, so I think they got buried is,
Remember Carol had them and then you had to go all the way down to a 24 altogether.
Yeah,
yeah.
so.
I didn't think there was 24.
No, I think there were a few libraries, different.
Yeah, the library.
Library,
Yeah,
senior
there
citizen.
wasn't 24, yeah, there was 24
What else is
files,
there?
there wasn't 24.
Parks and Cemetery, did Roger someone?
Because the library
I
had
think so, yeah.
several.
Yeah.
The town
Facilities.
clerk had
Yeah.
several,
Okay, okay.
so I know.
And were you able to print them out so that they're readable?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I think one was tiny,
Yeah, so we can-
to fit.
We can,
So the town clerk sent this, and the library, I think, sent in this. Emmy sent in hers plus a letter.
Some letter, because of money,
So-
she wants back
Yeah, she
$2,500
wants
or
money.
something, yeah. So
Um,
it's gotta be looked at.
I think the highway department sent in theirs.
The Parks and
So we're-
I'll
Cemetery?
have to try to print it.
Yes, Parks and Cemetery.
What about fire?
No.
No, they don't even,
No,
they
no
don't even
fire,
come.
no fire, no police.
Okay, so
Well, the police came last time. Now, the police
I know
can't
the-
take a loan
the
before we met with
That's
the
right.
Board of Selectmen.
The planning board, I know, didn't submit one.
Well, there you go, they go right back to last year's.
And
That's what I mean, why are we gonna beg when the rules are already set?
Yeah.
The parameters are there, and we are supposed to be the watchdogs. I am sorry.
And I don't believe the housing authority or the conservation.
The housing
Well,
authority, they
There's
watch
quite a few that
93,000.
haven't sent it in yet.
Yeah,
And
Or,
conservation,
okay, let me ask this.
Conservation?
Did they send them to,
They might have
where
sent,
Karen
did
and
you
we
get
get
them
them.
from? Did they,
I got them from Sabrina, so it came from the town administrator's office.
Okay.
So there were just a few that came to me directly, but they were all in,
because all the elected ones are supposed to go to you directly, I
Mhm.
believe.
right. Yeah, and when we say, it's finance committee, yes.
that's okay, you're the chair.
So Harrison will print out the last hurrah for us.
okay, so
Well, I will see if he'll print out what Karen
everyone's
sent.
$2,500
Huh?
operation budget
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
from
We
what?
gotta look
I
at
didn't
that, I don't
check
know.
my email
We have to
before
look
I
at
left.
that, we gotta get her in
I
here and
didn't-
ask her
I
question.
didn't-
Additionally, capital planning
Nothing
form
on
will
that.
be sent.
Really?
Monday.
You checked after,
I just checked.
Yeah, cemetery and
oh,
parks.
see, I can't check on my phone.
The
That email.
library,
I'll have to check at home.
oh, the Board of Health, they sent.
Oh, the
it.
Board of Health.
I think I figured out how to check.
Did Carla come in last year alone? Or was it too much?
I
You
think
remember
how,
She came in, didn't she?
she
Facility
was in,
sent
that.
in
I was trying to
theirs.
think if the Board of Health was on the phone or,
Oh, I didn't get
I
it
think you're
either.
right, yeah. And Rob came in
I came in,
from utilities,
maintenance or whatever it
or
is.
maintenance, whatever it is. Dog
I
lady
didn't-
then.
Facilities or something.
I
No,
didn't
they're-
get anything
their
from
police, their police chief. did.
Oh, that's the police.
Yeah, the
He
police.
he came a couple times.
I didn't get it.
He was very helpful.
Which one?
The email from Karen, I didn't get it.
Okay.
No, it's
Oh, I
from
didn't-
Dawn.
Oh, it would now be from me.
It's from Dawn, but it's really Karen. all
About
confused.
5:30 maybe?
Yeah, it was 5:30, right before
Oh,
now.
with the omnibus
Yeah.
thing that's draft,
It
yeah.
doesn't
I'm
matter
not
if it's
even, I'm
draft,
not
so
even gonna bother looking
We,
at
I'm
it.
not gonna look at it.
All I got is an agenda from you.
Maybe you weren't on the blind copy. I did get one at 5:25
There you go.
from Dawn.
Oh, that was on the,
Does it have a
yeah, see,
link?
oh, wait a minute. If I scroll down.
Yeah.
Yeah, careful. No, this is
Okay,
good, but I do think we should speak to them like we did last year.
From Dawn?
Dawn,
Yes.
Dawn
And I
Hicks.
forwarded Karen's
Oh,
note
wait a
that
minute.
said, get this out to.
Oh, link.
Yeah, it just says the word link, so it doesn't really stand.
So have we officially decided to pass over 3, 4, and 5 tonight?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we'll put them next week.
We'll put them next,
But I
okay.
can't open it.
What do you mean?
So,
When I get rid of it.
Okay.
Maybe I can on my computer at home, but I can't on my phone.
I will check, I'll get everybody's email address to Karen, because I think you have to do it by email address and allow access to it,
Oh, to open the link.
to open
you
the
might-
link.
you
I
might-
don't know, I was able
It's
to
on
open the
other-
link.
I opened the
Well, you're
link.
special.
Mm.
What kind
opened
of
the-
phone do you have?
I have an iPhone,
No one
That's what I have too.
Mm.
but it wants me
Not that
to,
special.
it says to open with Chrome, Google, or default browser app.
Try your default browser, whatever you use.
I would do it at your,
Safari.
on your home computer.
Safari.
Why didn't they, not
Oh, I got it. Oh, you're so good.
Is that the trick?
Okay.
Okay, I'll have to remember that, hit the default browser, okay.
God, look how shiny glasses thing.
It's in
All
my
right,
backpack.
so should we make a motion to adjourn then?
Go for it.
You're
I will motion that we
Second.
adjourn.
Okay,
Second by Mary Jane
So
Churchville.
we're not gonna go over the other?
No, they're
thing?
coming in, we wanna see them in
We
person.
want to see them in person, so I'll send out
So the collector and the assessor?
Invitations.
Who's coming in?
Vicky,
Whoever we can
Melissa.
get.
Emily, or whatever her name is,
How many
Emmy,
pages would this be?
and
Emmeline.
Emmeline,
Yeah,
and
but she goes by Emmy.
Highway. Dawn says we could, oh, thank you.
Treasurer, highway, assessors, and recreation?
Yes, and we would like to meet with Highway, but
I did get it.
They might not be available this weather, holy moly.
Yep.
Oh, I don't even wanna know about snow and ice.
Well, it's gone.
What do you mean it's gone?
It's already spent.
It's already spent.
The FY '26 is spent, so.
Oh, yeah, it's
All of
gone.
it?
Well, excuse
Oh,
me,
with
but
all the
we've
ice?
always underfunded.
It's the only thing
And
we've
not only
had.
that, we always underfunded, we're very much underfunded. So I've been pushing for a dozen or more years to constantly creep up.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
agree with you
because
100%.
you know you're going to spend that. Yes, there may be a year that has never showed up that it might dip below what you funded it for, but I've never seen it get close to that being a possibility.
Okay, so we have
We have
I
a,
made a motion to adjourn.
And she seconded
And she
it.
seconded.
Who made
I'm
that?
sorry.
What time?
Dave Walker.
8:25.
Dinner time. That's what time it is.
Motion to adjourn at 8:25. We got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous?
And we know our
We stand
next meeting
adjourned.
is next Tuesday.